subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Chapter 1. The Little Sword and the Two Swords, the God of the Gods. Activate the system. There are thousands of people living under this vast expanse of blue sky. And everyone will have their own wishes, and the wishes of various colors sometimes resonate. Sometimes they oppose each other. But the contradictory wishes of each other can also be resolved into eternal friendship. In the dojo in the backyard of the Takamachi in Naruchi, there is a little boy who is only about 4 years old and less than 1 meter tall. In his hand, he held a wooden knife that was taller than him. Her orange-red waist-length hair was tied into a high ponytail. A pair of eyes like amethyst. He quietly looked at the figure holding a wooden knife in front of him. Opposite the little boy is a young man of about 20 years old. Has short black hair, wearing dark short sleeves for easy movement. The look of the little boy in front of him is also very vigilant. Brother Gongyi, Tianyu, I will definitely defeat you today. This little boy who calls himself Tianyu. He clenched the wooden sword in his hand that was taller than his height and said confidently to the young man named Kyouya in front of him, "Then you have to do your best. I won't show mercy." Gong also just put on a relaxed look and nodded with a chuckle. Although Gong also looks relaxed, but that dignified look couldn't be concealed. Because Gong also knows how terrifying is his brother. The two have fought hundreds of times so far. As long as Tianyu is free, I would choose to entangle Takamachi Kyouya for a test. And Gong also had the idea of playing with Tianyu from the very beginning. It has to be taken seriously by now. For Kyungsu, the 4-year-old child in front of him is simply a freak and a monster. Every time he fights with himself, his strength will rise in a straight line. And with the battle, Tianyu's strength will become stronger and stronger. The fighting consciousness has also become stronger and stronger. To know it took Tianyu less than a year to learn swordsmanship from the very beginning. Confused from the beginning. Up to now, the strength has risen to a level that is enough to compete with himself. And now Tianyu is less than 5 years old. His age is nearly 15 years older than Tianyu in front of him. And he is the eldest brother of the Takamachi family. From a young age, he learned family swordsmanship from his father, Shiro Takamachi. And he won the true inheritance of his father, Takamachi Shiro's swordsmanship. Inherited the swordsmanship of the Zaidachi two swords Mikami. With his extremely outstanding talent, he cultivated the swordsmanship of Little Taidao Erdeo Yujin Lu in a short period of time to the realm of Little Taidao Erdeo Yushin Lu. At the same time, he is a professional bodyguard who is famous internationally. In terms of strength, it is more than enough, even compared to those international professional killers. But what about his younger brother, Takamachi Tianyu? Not only did I learn the King Lu in Little Sword and Two Swords Yujinyu in less than a year, but I could easily learn it even without breaking it. That's the equivalent of less than a year. I have continuously learned the two swordsmanships of Zaidachi and Two Swords Yushin King Lu, and at the same time, Zaidachi and Two Swords Yushin is not broken. Although both of these two swordsmanships belong to the Little Taito and Two Swords Mikami, the two swordsmanships of Unbreakable and King Lu are still somewhat different. There are some essential differences. The highest state of Unbreakable is unbreakable. It means nothing is broken. Compared with Clear Stream, Unbroken Stream is suitable for men to practice. King Lu is more inclined to technology. Compared with Unbroken Flow, Clear Flow is more suitable for female cultivation. Little Taidao Erdeo Yushin is not broken, and Little Taidao Erdeo Yushin King Lu can be said to be two completely different branches of Little Taidao Erdeo Yujin Li. But what about your own brother? Not only did I learn Clear Stream with Miyuki, but I even mastered my own Unbroken Stream with ease. At this time, Tianyu and Gong also came and went. And Tianyu, because of height. Compared to Gong, he has some advantages. Taking advantage of his height every time, he easily avoided Kyouya's attack. At the same time, use the wooden knife in your hand to counterattack. In an instant, Gong also caught Tianyu's flaw and clenched the wooden knife in his hand and slashed towards Tianyu. Of course, Gong also must be merciful. After all, Tianyu is his younger brother, not an enemy. No need for a killer. But what about Tianyu? The discussion between the two must have reservations. Not a life-and-death fight, seeing Gong Ye's victorious appearance. See, the corners of Tianyu's mouth rose slightly. You've been tricked. I saw Tianyu's figure flickering slightly. Holding the wooden knife in his hand, he quickly approached Kyouya. In a brief moment, the whole situation was reversed. Brother Gongye, you lost. I saw that the wooden knife in Tianyu's hand was about 5 centimeters away from Gongye's throat. The battle between the two came to an end. Ding! It is detected that the host has successfully defeated Kyouya Takamachi and Miyuki Takamachi. Perfectly completed the system task. The system starts to bind. Please wait. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully activating the system. Suddenly, a mechanical sound resounded in Tianyu's mind. The corners of Tianyu's mouth couldn't help but rise. I didn't expect it. After taking so long, he finally successfully activated the system at this moment. Chapter 2. Trigger Double. Heart Moon Flow Knife Drawing. It has been 4 years since I was reborn and traveled to this world without knowing it. Never imagine. It has been 4 years of waiting to be able to boot the system. Actually, Tianyu successfully activated the system a long time ago. However, the system at that time gave Tianyu a startup task that could not be completed at all. That is to defeat Takamachi Kyouya and Takamachi Miyuki in swordsmanship. Just such a task. It was delayed by Tianyu for about 4 years. It's finally done at this moment. Don't think this task is easy. You must know that Takamachi Kyouya and Takamachi Miyuki are internationally renowned professional bodyguards. Is there something that a little brat of your own can beat? But this time, it seems to bring a very special gold finger. That is the defying talent for learning, the terrifying ability to imitate, the physical quality far beyond ordinary people, and the powerful memory that is unforgettable. It seems that these abilities of Tianyu are all powerful. However, in this world where Tianyu is currently located, it is nothing at all. But fortunately, through unremitting efforts, finally successfully activated the necessary system for traversers. System, do you have any special abilities? Tianyu's eyes were full of hope. He quickly asked his own system in his heart. Hope this system of yours doesn't drag down too much. It's best to have some awesome special abilities. This system is an omnipotent system. The host can obtain everything in all dimensions of the heavens and the world through check-in, tasks, and mall exchange. After hearing the explanation of the system, Tianyu had no interest at all. I originally thought that after successfully awakening the system, I would not need to continue to work hard. Just like those novels I read in my previous life. It's nothing more than signing in or being a salted fish. Originally, Tianyu had no plans to work hard. He just wanted to be a salted fish. Constantly learning family swordsmanship is just to activate the system, so as to set foot on the pinnacle of life. I thought that after awakening the system, I could be a salted fish next. In this way, you can keep getting stronger without any effort. However, I heard the system say that I still need to do tasks. Tianyu has completely lost interest. Recalling those systematic protagonists in the previous life, every task was obliterated if the task was not completed. Some protagonist systems can become stronger as long as they eat and drink at home. Are you looking at your system? It is obviously the old system in the time travel novels a long time ago. Alas, can I choose to unbind? Tianyu sighed and complained in his heart. No, but the host can rest assured that this system is to help the host grow, and there will be no such thing as the so-called obliteration. The system also seemed to know what Tianyu was worried about, so I gave Tianyu an explanation. Oh, Tianyu responded casually. Please understand one thing, host. There is no such thing as unearned gain in this world. The system's icy voice resounded in Tianyu's mind again. Right? How did you sign in? Suddenly Tianyu thought. Just now the system seems to say that it is possible to sign in. Not sure how to sign in. Ding! Check-in is to perform daily check-in in some places, from which you can obtain relevant rewards. There is an opportunity to check in once a day, and it will reset after 12 o'clock in the evening. The system roughly explained to Tianyu, then can I sign in now? Tianyu asked curiously. Ding! The Takamachi family dojo was detected. Does the host choose to sign in? Soon the cold voice of the system remembered. Can you still sign in here? Sign in. Tianyu was a little curious about what could be signed in the dojo. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Grandmaster level, Zayatachi, and 2 swords. Yushinlu swordsmanship, the trigger is doubled. Additional random rewards. Grandmaster level Xinyueliu sword drawing technique. The system prompt sounded in Tianyu's mind. Huh? Just give this. Tianyu originally planned to complain to the system, but soon Tianyu's mind changed. Each swordsmanship has a different level division. They are beginner, proficient, small, great, and grandmaster. The current gong also barely reached the proficient level, one step away from breaking through to the realm of small success. And Miyuki is also proficient in the realm, and his father, Takamachi Shiro, was only in the realm of Xiaoqing. The previous Tianyu was the realm of Xiaoqing. That's why he was able to defeat Takamachi Kyouya with swordsmanship. But what's up with the trigger doubling? Why is the Xinyueliu sword drawing technique an additional reward? This made Tianyu a little confused. Every time you check in, there is a certain probability to trigger the doubling, and you can get other rewards besides the check-in reward. The system also explained to Tianyu aloud. Good guy. In short, it's a sacrifice to Yangsho. If it's not the same as those games in the previous life, there is a chance that good things will come out the first time, and then there will be a pile of rubbish. Tianyu couldn't help but complain. Chapter 3. Newbie Package. It looks like Xiao Yu has gone through a lot of hardships and finally won Gongya once. At this time, a girl with dark brown short-sleeved sleeves and sweatpants walked in from outside the door, with dark brown waist-length hair and a high ponytail. Opened the dojo door and walked in. Sister Miyuki, good morning. Tianyu turned his head and said hello. Good morning, Xiao Yu. The girl named Miyuki walked in front of Tianyu, bent down and touched Tianyu's little head, and then hugged Tianyu in his arms. Stop laughing at me. If this was a real fight, I might have died in Xiao Yu's hands. Gong also rubbed his nose and said with a wry smile. The two had no surprises with Miyuki's appearance. After all, as long as you cultivate to a certain level, you can learn to sense things beyond your sight through sounds and air currents. This special ability is called God in the Small Sword and 2 Swords Mikamiyu. It can be said to be a very special ability. It can sense the presence of someone outside the door, even when others do not open the door. Before the two started fighting, it was already felt that Miyuki was standing outside the gate of the dojo. It's so exaggerated, but Xiao Yu's progress is really fast. Miyuki sighed with emotion. I didn't expect Xiao Yu's progress to be so fast. Not only did he master King Lu in less than a year, but he also easily mastered Breakthrough. Gong also said with a wry smile, who knew that his younger brother's talent was so perverted. What you guys just competed against should be pure, unbreakable swordsmanship. If Xiao Yu even used King Lu, I'm afraid you would have already failed. Miyuki said with a smile. Yeah, after all, Xiao Yu's mastery of King Lu is definitely stronger than no breaking flow. Gong nodded in agreement. Miyuki, the daughter of Takamachi's patriarch, is 2 years younger than Q. At the same time, he is also the heir of the Little Sword and 2 Swords Yushin King Lu. Tianyu's Xiao Tai Dao heir, Dao Yushin King Lu, learned from his sister Miyuki. However, Miyuki was later defeated by Tianyu. Huh? Naiha is here, suddenly Tianyu said. Brother, sister, Xiao Yu, good morning. The door of the dojo was opened again. It was a man with chestnut-colored hair, with 2 small braids on both sides, and a pair of amethyst-like eyes. A very cute little girl. Nanoha, good morning. Tianyu greeted the girl. How many times have you said that you want to call me Sister Naiba? The girl named Nanoha said with a pouting voice. It looked like a little hamster with a stuffed mouth. Okay, Nanoha. Got it, Nanoha. Got it, Nanoha. Tianyu nodded to indicate that he understood. But he still calls the girl Naiha. Then I'll take Tianyu to take a bath first. Miyuki said. Yeah. Then I'll go back to the room to take a shower. Gong also nodded. For Tianyu, this life has become the norm. After training, every morning, Miyuki would take her to the shower. After all, I had sweated a lot in the morning. It's a bonus moment every morning, although Tianyu had resisted several times. But Miyuki said, You are still young, I will help you take a bath. Take this time. Tianyu also wanted to study his own system. See if you find anything. System. Isn't there a novice gift pack or something? Tianyu suddenly remembered those systems in the novel, but there are novice gift packs. It should have its own system. Ding! At present, the host has a novice gift package. Does the host open it now? The system's icy voice resounded in Tianyu's mind. Good guy. Did you swallow my novice gift bag without asking me? Tell me, did you swallow my other rewards? Tianyu said fiercely to the system in his heart. Please don't think the system is as bad as you think. The system replied coldly. Cut. I believe you, the old system is very bad. Tianyu pouted and said disdainfully. Xiao Yu, what's wrong? Miyuki, who was walking towards the bathroom, suddenly lowered her head and asked in confusion. It's okay, no problem. Tianyu quickly waved his hand to indicate that he was fine. However, some are curious about what rewards are in their novice package. What can be found in this novice gift bag? Tianyu suddenly asked. If there is nothing of value in it, it will simply vomit blood. Ding! The host can definitely open blood vessels, props, and other things from the novice gift bag. And it is also possible that the host personality will explode and open other good things. The system's answer left Tianyu confused. What is called character explosion to open up other good things? Just kind of confusing. Open. Tianyu, who was curious, decided to open it. I want to know if I can extract anything from it that is valuable to my current self. However, the next system announcement made Tianyu a little excited. Chapter 4, Deluxe Package. Tianyu, who was curious, decided to open the newbie gift pack. I want to see if I can come up with something worthwhile. Ding! Congrats to the host, great luck getting the Super Saiyan bloodline. Ding! Congrats to the host, who has achieved great luck and obtained the power of 12 spells. Ding! Congrats to the host, great luck and obtained the God Extinguishing Tool. Light Wings of the White Dragon Emperor. Ding! Congrats to the host, great luck obtaining the God-Killing Tool. The Cage Hand of the Red Dragon Emperor. Ding! Congrats to the hosts, great luck getting the Magic Tool. Book of Night Sky. The continuous sound of the 5-path system made Tianyu excited. The Super Bloodline, the power of the 12 spells, the Light Wings of the White Dragon Emperor, the Caged Hands of the Red Dragon Emperor, and the Book of Etion seemed to be pretty good from this novice gift package. Tianyu didn't expect that he would open these out of the novice gift bag. It seems that he is indeed possessed by the European Emperor. Feedback from the system. Tianyu also has a general understanding of these things opened by the system. The first is to pass the Super Saiyan bloodline. I don't have a tail like those Saiyans. From this point of view, it seems a bit like the Saiyan of the 6th universe in Dragon Ball Super. But it is more similar to the Saiyans of the 7th universe. Personality. Grumpy, mentally impetuous, and very belligerent. But this does not have much effect on Tianyu. Originally, he had practiced the swordsmanship of small sword and 2 swords, Mikami Ryu, and maintaining a normal mind has become commonplace. If you want to become a super race, you need to stimulate the growth of S cells through anger and practice. As for the second one, the power of 12 spells naturally, it is the ability of the Holy Master in Jackie Chan's adventures, which is quite a good ability for Tianyu. The Light Wings of the Last White Dragon Emperor. This is the God-Killing Tool held by Wally Lucifer in High School DD. There are 5 main abilities in total. The first tab, this is a force capable of having an opponent's strength every 10 seconds, while at the same time having the volume of a certain target at the user's will. The second, Absorb. This is the ability to add the power of an opponent to oneself. But unfortunately, it cannot restore physical strength. It can only be used to improve strength. The combination of the above 2 abilities can have the opponent's strength every 10 seconds and add the halved strength to yourself. Moreover, due to the limitation of the holder's body, it cannot absorb the power indefinitely. Otherwise, the body will collapse because the strength was too strong in the past. Therefore, the excess power can be removed from the body through the 2 wings of the White Dragon Emperor's light wings. The third type, Reflection. It can reflect energy-based attacks from the enemy. Fourth, the domain of the White Dragon Emperor. This ability allows the user to release a poisonous gas that wipes out all existence except inorganic matter. As long as a creature comes into contact with this poisonous gas, its body, including blood, bones, organs, and soul, can be reduced bit by bit. But only in the field. The fifth type, Banhan Balanghua, the whole body will be wrapped in white armor, and the strength will also be explosively increased. At the same time, all the power can be completely released through the incantation and turned into the White Dragon Emperor, one of the two heavenly dragons. The last caged hand of the Red Dragon Emperor. This is the same as the light wings of the White Dragon Emperor. It is from the god-killing tool held by Haidu Ichijo in High School DD. The overall ability can also be divided into 5 abilities. The first, Multiply, can double the power of the holder every 10 seconds, and at the same time, the volume of a target can be doubled according to the user's wishes. The second, Transfer. It is possible to transfer the multiplied power to companions or weapons. When transferring it to multiple people, the power available to each person is relatively reduced. The third type, Penetration. It can attack the enemy through defense, and the ability to see through can be obtained by acting on the eyes. Fourth, the domain of the Red Dragon Emperor. This ability allows the user to release the ultimate flame that burns everything to pieces. Once ignited by this ultimate flame, it will never be extinguished, and even gods will turn into ashes in this flame. The same is limited to the field. The fifth type, Banhan Balangwa. The whole body will be wrapped in red armor, and the strength will also be explosively increased. At the same time, all the power can be completely released through the incantation and turned into the Qilong Emperor, one of the two heavenly dragons. However, Tianyu did not have the 2 heavenly dragons and the 2 divine extinguishing tools that he obtained, so how much power he could burst out all depended on Tianyu's own strength. Although the power brought by the 2 gods is only temporary, over time, it will slowly return to its original strength. The last book of Night Sky is naturally the magic tool held by Yagami Hate in Magic Girl Nanoha as. I didn't expect that I really opened something good from the novice gift bag. It seems that he is indeed the son of destiny. At this time, Tianyu also began to feel a little happy in his heart. Chapter 5, Tasks of the System. At this time, Tianyu no longer thought about those messy things. When we came to the restaurant, everyone was seated here. Only Miyuki and Tianyu were left behind. Came to the table and looked at a table full of hearty breakfast. Tears were left on Tianyu's mouth. Breakfast this morning was great too. Tianyu sighed. It may be because of the relationship of the scion blood. Looking at the table full of food made Tianyu feel like his appetite was greatly increased. Yes, especially this plate of eggs. A man sitting at the dining table, who was somewhat similar to Takamachi Takashi, nodded. This is the head of the Takamachi family, the father of Tianyu and others. Takamachi Shiro. He is also the owner of the cafe in front of the station. Su. Of course, Shiro Takamachi has a hidden identity. That is, Shiro Takamachi is also an internationally renowned bodyguard. Really? I added tomatoes, cheese, and basil. The young woman sitting next to Shiro Takamachi said with a smile. This is the mother, Takamachi Momoko. She is the pastry chef of Tsu. She is a beautiful and gentle mother who Tianyu likes very much. By the way, Tsu Cafe is located in the shopping street in front of the station. A CAF famous for its cakes, puffs, and secret coffee. Popular with students and housewives. And Tianyu, who is only 4 years old and did not want to go to kindergarten, is currently helping out in the Tsu Cafe because of the cute looks. At the same time, it has also become a mascot-like existence in the Tsu Cafe. What a blessing it is to have a chef as a mother. Do you understand? Shiro Takamachi looked at the 4 children in front of him with a smile. I understand, right? Nanoha, Xiao Yu Miyuki replied with a smile. Naya nodded her head vigorously. Agree. Tianyu also nodded. I hate pulling. Husband. Takamachi Momoko smiled and stretched out her hand and poked Shiro Takamachi's face. Ha! Takamachi Shiro smiled and glanced at Takamachi Momoko next to him. I fed a handful of dog food to the 4 children in front of me. It is worth mentioning that the Takamachi family's parents are already parents of 4 children, but they are still as close as newlyweds. Xiao Yu, eat slower. Miyuki looked at Tianyu, who was sitting there devouring food, and couldn't help but say, drink some milk. Nai brought a glass of milk to Tianyu. You 3 are showing your love here too. Takamachi Kyouya also looked at Tianyu, who was surrounded by the 2 women, and said with a helpless smile, The relationship between the three members of the Takamachi family, Yuki, Nani, and Tianyu, is very good. It's better for Miyuki and Nanoha to marry Koba in the future. Takamachi Shiro, who was watching the excitement, said with a smile, "It feels good." Takamachi Momoko smiled and nodded. "There's one thing I want to tell you. In fact, the Takamachi family has 4 children. But the eldest son, Takamachi, is also the child of his father, Shiro Takamachi, and his ex-wife. At the same time, he also entered the Takamachi family. The original surnames of Takamachi Kyouya and Takamachi Shiro should not be broken. The eldest daughter, Miyuki Takamachi, is the child of Shiro Takamachi's younger sister, Misato Mikami. Later, because Misato Misha worked in a special police team called HIDS, he gave Miyuki to his elder brother Shiro Takamachi to raise him. And Miyuki's real surname should be Miyuki. As for Takamachi Naba, he is the child of Takamachi Momoko and Takamachi Shiro. The youngest, Takamachi Tianyu. It is a child adopted by Takamachi Momoko and Takamachi Shiro. But for what reason? Even Tianyu himself has no memory of this. As long as he can remember, he has been adopted by Takamachi Momoko and Takamachi Shiro. Takamachi Momoko and Takamachi Shiro also gave Tianyu's family warmth. Tianyu felt a little regretful after breakfast, although the mother Takamachi Momoko cooked a table of dishes. But for Tianyu, who has Scion blood, it's not enough to stick between his teeth. You must know that the food intake of every Scion is very amazing. One person can eat at least 30 people in one meal. Just this little breakfast is not enough for Tianyu. But in order not to worry the family, I can only think of other ways to solve the problem of hunger later. After breakfast, Kyouya and Miyuki left home to go to school. Regardless, Shiro, Kyouya, and Miyuki are all professional bodyguards. Takamachi Kyouya, who is only 19 years old, is still a college student. Usually, I need to go to school. And Miyuki is a second-year student at the private Fukugaoka Academy High School. As for the students of the 3rd grade of the elementary school affiliated to the private Seiho University in Naiba, it's time to go to school after breakfast. Tianyu, on the other hand, followed his parents to help in the Tsuyu Cafe. This is the normal life of the children in the Takamachi family. What a pity! I don't know how long this everyday, leisurely life can last. Tianyu couldn't help but sighed in his heart. Next moment, ding, the system triggers the task. Collect 21 holy stone seeds, and the task reward. Resurrection short staff, change, note. Every time you collect a holy stone seed, you will get 100 exchange points. Chapter 6. Resurrection scepter, ding. The system triggers the task. Collect 21 holy stone seeds, and the task reward. Resurrection short staff, change, note. Every time you collect a holy stone seed, you will get 100 exchange points. Resurrection scepter? What is that? And still change it. Looking at the resurrection scepter written in the quest reward, Tianyu expressed a confused expression. It seemed like he had never heard of such a thing. Soon the thoughtful system gave pictures and some information about the resurrection scepter. What appeared in front of him was a short staff about 30 centimeters long. There are a pair of small white wings on either side of that short staff. The small wings appear to be made of ivory. The front part is decorated with gold. The grip is engraved with magical runes that Tianyu has never seen before. It seems that the whole scepter is full of divine breath. What the hell is this thing? Tianyu turned his attention to the specific information below. Props, Resurrection Scepter, modified from Overlord Grade, S effect. It has magic props that can revive the dead. After system improvement, it can perfectly revive the dead regardless of the time of death. At the same time, it has also changed from the original one-time item to one that can be used again after charging. How many people can be resurrected is all from the magic power of the user. Tianyu also remembered this thing after seeing this system introduction. This thing is a single-use item from Overlord. Possesses a magical tool that can bring the dead back to life. However, due to the relatively small number of appearances, so Tianyu couldn't remember for a while. The one-time use has been changed to be able to be used again after charging, and it can perfectly resurrect the dead regardless of the time of death. Does that mean that there will be no sequelae? Tianyu remembers being resurrected by this thing, The resurrected person will appear unconscious, inarticulate, and in an uncontrollable state of paralysis. However, the state of the resurrected person before resurrection will not affect the effect of the resurrection itself. Make an analogy. For example, in the original book, the lizard men were torn apart by cositis, but they could still be resurrected to a complete state. We have to find time to find an experimental subject to try. Tianyu touched his chin and started to think. You'd better find a chance to use this revised resurrection scepter. See if there are any usage restrictions. Does the resurrected person have any memories of the past? And after using it once, how should it be recharged? How long does it take to recharge once? These situations are not described in detail in the description of the system prop. The best way is to use it yourself. But because it is a magic tool to resurrect the dead, even if it's a test, you need to find a better test item. Tianyu, who was looking at the tasks on the system, suddenly thought of a question. That is, Nanoha only met magic when she was 9 years old. Become an honorable horse monkey soju and collect holy stone seeds. And this year Naiha is 9 years old. Saying so, that color mink, should only appear in the last few days? But Tianyu prefers today, because Takamachi's breakfast is usually made in a different way. In this morning's conversation, it reminded Tianyu of the beginning of the first episode of Magic Girl Nanoha in his previous life. For this picture of the parents of the Takamachi family showing their love, Tianyu is still fresh in his memory, although it is usually such a show of affection. But this morning's show of affection is combined with the task reminder of the system. Does that mean that Sable, will appear today? Why don't you use that Sable as an experiment? Tianyu, who was sitting alone in a chair, thought back and forth. Otherwise, I'll kill that ferret tonight, and then use the resurrection scepter to resurrect again? But Tianyu quickly dismissed this idea. Never mind, although the Sable is damn it is still a bit unbearable to let himself start like this. What's more, did the Sable provoke him? It's not a good idea to kill it for no reason. Poor Yuno doesn't know yet. He narrowly escaped death. Xiao Yu, let's go. At this time, Momoko and Shiro had already packed up. Taozi came over and faced the Tianyu ropeway. Okay, Tianyu responded. By the way, he subconsciously touched his belly. After all, the weight just now, not enough food for a scion. Although a little hungry. But there is the power of the horse charm and the power of the dog charm. Tianyu can't even talk about being hungry. Just want to eat something delicious. The horse charm is to eliminate all abnormal external forces in the body and achieve the miraculous effect of curing all diseases. Remove the harmful effects of anomalies and return to normal. All the bad external forces in the body are expelled from the body. The dog charm is able to make the bearer have immortality, can achieve eternal youth and immortality. The physical body is eternally young and never dies, which means immortality and immortality. With the power of these two spells, although Tianyu felt a little hungry, he was actually just greedy. Chapter 7. Shiro Nanoha's request evening. The Takamachi family sits at the dining table. That the general situation is like this. Can you keep this ferret at home temporarily? On the dining table, Nanoha carefully told everyone about the injured ferret she met on the way to the tutoring class after school this afternoon. Is that still the case? After Tianyu heard Nai mention the ferret, he thought to himself, although during the day I wondered if would appear today. Unexpectedly, he was actually guessed by himself. But on second thought, it should have appeared last night. Ferret. Shiro, the head of the family, also pondered. And Nanoha looked at Shiro with hopeful eyes. But what is a ferret? Shiro, who looked confused, asked with some doubts. Everyone who heard Shiro's question almost fell on the table. Simply put, it's the same kind of weasel. Dad! Gong also explained helplessly. Being a pet has been popular for a long time. Miyuki, who wears glasses, explained. Should ferrets be small? At this time, Taozi came over with a plate and asked, Do you know? Shiro looked at Momo in confusion. The average body length is 33 to 41 centimeters, and the average tail length is about 7.6 to 10 centimeters. Tianyu was a little speechless about his father. He simply explained, You know it too. Shiro suddenly realized that he didn't seem to know what a ferret was at home. Tianyu nodded. That's probably how big it is. Nai gestured with his hand out. If it's only for a few days now, it needs to be put in a cage, and Nani will take care of it. What about Kyouya, Miyuki, and Xiao Yu? Taozi then asked the opinion of the other 3 children of her family. I have nothing to object to. Gong also nodded. Me too. Miyuki said she did not object either. Well, however, Tianyu was lost in thought. Where's Xiao Yu? Taozi looked at Tianyu, who was silent and lost in thought. I will take good care of it. Nei looked at Tianyu next to him with hopeful eyes. Hope Tianyu can agree. Ferrets, as long as you don't get into any trouble, I agree. After thinking about it, Tianyu agreed to Nanoha's request. After all, if there wasn't that sable, Nanoha will not be able to embark on the road of becoming a horse monkey shochu. And he also has a task of collecting the seeds of holy stones. Maybe at that time, you can also pull a free coolie and let Nei help him collect it. You just need to protect Nanoha in the dark. Since everyone agrees, let's make this decision. Shiro, the head of the family, also made a final decision on this matter. That's great. Momoko looked at Naiha with a smile. Thank you. Naiha was also happy. The little face also became red and flushed like a small apple. Come on, eat while it's hot. Peaches made a big table tonight. I have to say that Peach's craftsmanship is really good. It's better than some 5-star chef's craftsmanship. And after a big meal, there are also some cakes and other desserts that Taozi made at Jade House today. Great for dessert after meals. In the evening, after taking a bath, Tianyu went back to the room with Nai Yi and rested, because the two are relatively young. After returning to his room, Tianyu summoned the Book of Night Sky from the system. It was a very thick-looking book, brown all over, with a gold border on the cover. There is also a golden cross in the middle. This is the Book of Night Sky. During the day, because I've been staying at the Tsu Cafe, therefore, I did not choose to start the Book of Night Sky. Now it's finally time to start the Book of Night Sky. According to the introduction of the system, this Book of the Night Sky seems to be the one in the hands of Yagami Kaze. And the level of the Summon Guardian Knights is linked to Tianyu's own strength. If Tianyu's strength is stronger, then the strength of the Summon Guardian Knight will be stronger. It's a little bit bad to have so many people in the house all of a sudden. Otherwise, why don't you start it first? Tianyu looked at the Book of Yi Tian in confusion. After hesitating for a while, Tianyu took the Book of Yi Tian back into the system. Lazy lying on the bed, not wanting to move. Although there are 5 things that are out of the novice gift package, it is a bit incredible. You have to collect the Holy Stone Seed early to get the exchange points, and complete the task by the way. Find a test item to try out the effect of the so-called Resurrection Scepter change. Tianyu made up his mind secretly. Chapter 8. Yuno's Request. The unease that permeates my heart in the morning. Tianyu suspected that Selena Yuno would appear this evening. And the reason is very simple. Because the system gave the task of collecting the seeds of holy stones. At that time, Tianyu roughly recalled the situation at the beginning of Nai Yi in the original work. That is, Nanoha only met magic at the age of 9, became a glorious horse monkey shochu, and assisted Yuno in collecting 21 holy stone seeds. So you can determine the specific time from this. Naya is 9 years old this year, currently studying with the 3rd grade of the primary school affiliated to the private Xinjiang University. It can be said to be an ordinary 3rd grader of elementary school, so it can be speculated that Yuno should appear this year. However, the reason for Tianyu to determine the specific appearance time of Yuno, it's because of the show of affection from the Takamachi family's parents this morning. Every morning at Takamachi's breakfast, peaches are made in different ways. And this morning, Momoko and Shiro's exchange. It reminded Tianyu of the beginning of the first episode of Magic Girl Nanoha in his previous life. When I watched Magic Girl Nanoha in my previous life, I still remember this scene of Takamachi's parents showing their love. In the original, when Nai gave an introduction at the beginning, he said that he was an ordinary 3rd grader of elementary school, but he became extraordinary that night and transformed into a horse monkey shochu. I'm really looking forward to tonight. Tianyu, who was lying in bed, was looking forward to what was going to happen tonight. Tianyu, who has 2 god-killing tools and the power of 12 spells, said that he was invincible. The power of a dog spell alone can give Tianyu the powers of immortality, eternal youth, immortality, and immortality. Although the pain sensory and the like are not immune, this means that you will still feel pain when attacked. But it's just pain. It's still within Tianyu's tolerance. Even if I can't stand it, there is also the power of the horse charm. Anyway, the power of the horse charm can eliminate all abnormal external forces in the body, remove the harmful abnormal influence, and make Tianyu return to normal state. It also has the ability to remove all pain and remove all injuries. So it's done tonight. If there are two different powers of the God Destruction tool and the power of the 12 spells, it can still fail. The two God Destruction tools are still at the elite level. Then Tianyu was a failure to live. His physical fitness is already far beyond ordinary people, plus upload Super Saiyan bloodline. Just give Tianyu enough time. With the help of Scarlet Dragon Emperor's Cage Hand for double enhancement, even gods and demon kings would not necessarily be Tianyu's opponents. Not to mention, there is still the light wings of the White Dragon Emperor. Have the opponent's power. Use all those have powers for your own use. It is not as simple as 1 + 1 2 to use these two kinds of God Slayer tool at the same time. Light wings of the White Dragon Emperor. Increase the opponent's power to your own body, and you can continue to have it as long as the upper limit is not reached. Scarlet Dragon Emperor's Cage Hand can also multiply the power added to oneself with the original power, as long as it does not reach the upper limit of the body's endurance. It can continue to multiply until you reach the limit of your body. And as the last killer, Tianyu also has two special forms, Forbidden Hand and Balong. Suddenly Tianyu felt a faint magic fluctuation. Is this fluctuation a magic fluctuation? Tianyu felt the magic fluctuations around him. At the same time, it was accompanied by a harsh sound. Can you hear see? Can you hear see my voice? Accompanied by a piercing sound. There is also an intermittent noise. Huh. This voice is a sable. Tianyu understood immediately after hearing the voice. Please, if you can hear my voice, please give me a helping hand. The sound kept ringing, but Tianyu ignored it because she wanted to see if Nanoha had any reaction. It's almost 9 o'clock in the evening now. After a day of waiting, it's finally about to start. Tianyu walked to the window. A ray of soft moonlight shone through the glass and sprinkled on the windowsill in Tianyu's room. Looking at the bright moon outside the window, his expression became a little dignified. It always feels like something unexpected is going to happen tonight. There was a faint unease in Tianyu's heart. It always felt as if something terrible was going to happen tonight. At this time, the space in the air began to distort continuously. Countless lightning is wrapped around the space vortex. At the same time, a puddle of black mud flew out from the vortex of space. Suddenly, out of nowhere, another mass of black mud with blood-red eyes appeared, swallowing the black mud that fell out of the vortex in the air. Strange black lightning flashed all over his body. The space vortex silently disappeared into the air again, as if it never happened. Your support. Chapter 9. Nanoha, who sneaked out of the house. The plot begins. It wasn't just Tianyu who heard the voice. Naya next to him could also hear it. Nanoha, who was about to sleep in the room, thought about it and picked up her phone. Sitting by the bed, I can't wait to tell my two best friends the good news that ferrets are allowed to be raised in my home. Thinking of waiting until tomorrow afternoon to pick it up at the animal hospital after school. Naya then put the phone on the cradle aside and prepared to go to bed. At this time, mobile phones were still flip phones, and charging isn't as convenient as it is now. All you need is a charging cable. At this time, the mobile phone needs to be placed on the charging stand dedicated to the mobile phone. Then go to sleep. Naya raised a lazy waist and was about to go to sleep. Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice resounding in my mind. Can you hear? Can you hear my voice? Ah! This is the same dream as last night, and the same voice during the day. Naya immediately recalled the voice in my dream last night, and the voice I heard on the way to the cram school during the day. Exactly the same as what I'm hearing now. Please listen to me. If you can hear my voice, please give me a helping hand. That strange voice appeared in the minds of Naya and Tianyu. Please come to me. Time, danger, already. The voice appeared intermittently in my mind, soon disappeared without a trace. It's almost 9 o'clock in the evening now, and after a day of waiting, it's finally about to start. Tianyu, who heard Yuno's voice, walked to the window. Looking at the bright moon outside the window, his expression became a little dignified. It always feels like something unexpected is going to happen tonight. There was a faint unease in Tianyu's heart in the room. It always felt as if something terrible was going to happen tonight. But what's even more puzzling is, strange? Why can I hear that Sable's voice? Tianyu was a little puzzled. Wasn't this voice heard only by Nanoha? Why can I hear it myself? When Tianyu had some doubts, the system gave the answer. Ding! This sound is set so that only people with magical powers in Hyaming City can hear it. Outside Hyaming City, or people without magical powers can't hear it. After hearing the warm answer from the system, Tianyu also suddenly understood. The current self also possesses magical powers, so it's not unusual to hear Yuno's voice. The scope is also limited to Hyaming City. There are even fewer people with magic power in Hyaming City. At present, the entire Hyaming City has magic power. Apart from the Sable Yuno, there are only 2 people, Nani and Tianyu. As for whether Fei Te can hear it, the first point. In the original book, the place where Fei Te lives is not in Hyaming City, but in an apartment in the center of the adjacent Vision City. The scope there belongs to Yuanjian City, not the scope of Hyaming City where Tianyu and Nani live. The second point. Fei Te at this time did not necessarily arrive in the current world, so I can't hear the sound at all. But there was something Yuno neglected. This sound is set to be heard only by magic. And the monster formed after the Holy Stone seed ran rampant also has magic power, so it can naturally hear it. Yuno, who was in the Makahara Animal Hospital, didn't know it yet. This move of his own has exposed his whereabouts. Thought no one could hear it, so Yuno, who didn't get any answer, could only bow his head helplessly, curled up in a cage. Use your magic to heal your wounds. A mass of black mud-like thing in the distance. Blood-red eyes looked around. He rushed towards the Makahara Animal Hospital at a very fast speed. What to do? Is there no other way? Yuno sighed a little helplessly. Isn't there a man with magical powers in this city? Although mentally prepared. But Yuno was still a little disappointed. The only way now is to wait until his injuries are healed before looking for the trace of the Holy Stone seed. At the same time in the Takamachi family, after hesitating for a moment, Naiha chose to change into a suit. The sound was the same as what I heard during the day, since daytime can follow this sound to find the ferret. Maybe the ferret was calling out to him for help. Thinking of this, Nanoha decided to go to the Makahara Animal Hospital to find out. After opening the door, he was ready to slip out. As everyone knows, the 4 people in the family are all existences with skills like mind-eyes. That is the ability called God in the Mikamiryu. You can perceive what is out of sight with just sound and airflow, even without opening the door. It can also easily perceive the situation outside the door. So Nanoha just left home. The 4 of them noticed Nanoha's movements at the same time. Your support. Chapter 10. Tracking Nanoha. I hope nothing unplanned will happen next. Tianyu, who was standing by the window looking at the night sky, murmured in a low voice. Suddenly Tianyu keenly heard the sound of Nanoha closing the door and going downstairs cautiously. An existence with skills like mind-eyes. It's easy to sense what's going on outside the door. The plot is finally about to begin. Tianyu's eyes turned to the gate downstairs. Soon, Naiha was seen leaving the house. After going out, he carefully looked around at the situation and then ran in the direction to the right. Tianyu also simply opened his bedroom door and walked out. At the same time, Shiro, Kyouya, and Miyuki also opened their bedroom doors. Naiba always thought that the swordsmanship handed down by his family was just some ordinary swordsmanship. There will be clear what abilities the family handed down, little sword and 2 swords Mikamiyu has. It's even less clear that there are already 4 people in the family, and they have already learned the God in Zayatachi and 2 swords Eugenia, able to use sound and air to sense what is out of sight. Even if you don't open the door, you can sense what's going on outside the door. Naoba is going there so late? Miyuki asked suspiciously. I don't know, I'll just go out and have a look. Gong also shook his head and said, I'll go. Tianyu didn't want others to know that Nai was about to become horse monkey soju. Instead of letting them follow, it's better to follow yourself. No, you are too young. Let Gong go too. Shiro shook his head and refused. My swordsmanship is already able to defeat my brother. I have absolutely no problem in protecting Nai. Tianyu quickly retorted. Beat Gong Yi? Shiro's eyes turned to Kyouya and Miyuki, who were standing aside. Because it happened this morning. So Gong did not tell his father that he was defeated by his younger brother. Kyu also saw Shiro looking at him. He could only smile and nod his head. See, Shiro was also surprised. Unexpectedly, my youngest son has only been in contact with him for less than a year. Can you beat Gong Yi? After thinking about it, Shiro felt that there should be no big problem. He simply said to Tianyu, Then you can go with Gong Yi. This way I can rest assured. I can do it alone. After saying that, Tianyu hurriedly ran down the stairs. Me and Miyuki should go take a look, Gongya said in a deep voice. Well, you two be careful. After thinking about it, Shiro agreed to Kyouya's request. For the time being, let's not say whether Tianyu's swordsmanship can defeat Gong Yi. It's not safe to let a 4-year-old out so late. Even this young son of his own has been a genius at the evil level since he was a child. In case of being deceived by the traffickers, and in the end follow the traffickers foolishly, this situation may really happen. It would be better for Kyouya and Miyuki to follow along. You must know that both Kyouya and Miyuki are professional bodyguards. In terms of strength, it is already comparable to those professional killers. There shouldn't be much of a problem with protecting 2 young children. Kyouya and Miyuki nodded and ran out. Tianyu, who left home, immediately activated the power of the 3 charms. The snake charm, the chicken charm, and the rabbit charm. The hidden figure followed Nanoha silently in midair. Kyouya and Miyuki, who came over, also saw Nanoha running towards the front. But he didn't see Tianyu's figure. Where did Xiao Yu go? Gong also asked with some doubts. It should be hiding somewhere. I want to see where Nanoha goes. Miyuki said with some uncertainty after thinking about it. Why don't you think he's lost? Gong also complained. How can you get lost on such a road? Miyuki glanced at Kyouya and said, Then you said he could go there? Gong Yi asked. Miyuki didn't know where Tianyu went. When you go out, you can see the figure of Nai going away, but he didn't know where Tianyu ran to. Are you looking for me? Tianyu suddenly appeared behind the 2 and asked weakly. The 2 were jumped by Tianyu's sudden appearance. He was able to walk quietly behind the 2 of them. What are you doing? Tianyu looked at the surprised 2 people with a puzzled expression. When did you run behind us? Gong also asked in surprise. Just now. In fact, Tianyu saw Gongya and Miyuki, and they all turned back again. I didn't even notice it. Miyuki was also surprised. Oops. Nai is going far. I don't have time to chat with you guys. Bye. Tianyu saw that Nanoha was running farther and farther. So I said a word to Kyouya and Miyuki. He quickly followed. Wait. Kyouya and Miyuki suddenly discovered that Nanoha and Tianyu had disappeared. Most likely, it should be a right turn at the intersection ahead. Your support. Chapter 11. The black monster Gongya and Miyuki quickly chased after them. As expected, look towards the intersection on the right. Naya was running forward. As for Tianyu, I don't know where I ran to. In fact, Tianyu used the power of the spell to hide his figure after catching up with Nanoha. Kyouya and Miyuki looked around. No trace of Tianyu was found. So, what about the 2 of us? Take Nanoha directly home? Gong also asked Miyuki, who was beside him. I think. Or we'll follow behind and see where Nanoha is going so late. Miyuki thought for a while and replied. Also, the 2 are quite confident in their own strength. It's not about protecting important people from some terrorist. Just protecting a little girl. There shouldn't be any problems. Wait until the 2 of you decide. I could barely see Naiha. As for Tianyu, I didn't know where I ran to again. Nanoha ran towards the Makahara Animal Hospital. As everyone knows, there are 3 people behind him. One was hiding on top of her head and followed her secretly. The other 2 followed far behind to see where she was going. Nanoha, who came to the gate of Makahara Animal Hospital, stopped and took a breath. He hesitated as he stared at the door in front of him. Just as Nanoha hesitated, suddenly, The strange sound was heard again, accompanied by wind and a harsh sound. What? Listening to the harsh voice, Naoya's face showed a look of pain, and he quickly reached out and covered his ears. It's that sound again. Nanoha felt that covering her ears was useless. Tianyu in the air felt an invisible force spreading out around him. Enchantment. Tianyu couldn't help frowning. All the figures around him disappeared out of thin air. I could see a few people on the way. There is no one left now. Roar! Then the harsh sound disappeared, and there was a low growl from the Makahara Animal Hospital. What's that sound? Curious, Nanoha hurried in. Just 2 steps away, a bandaged ferret jumped out of the window and ran towards a nearby tree. That's... Nay immediately realized that wasn't the ferret he saw during the day. The ferret looked behind him. When he saw Nai, his eyes were full of surprise. I thought no one could help me. As the saying goes, there is no way out of the sky. I thought I was dead this time. Unexpectedly, someone actually heard his cry for help. But Yuno saw the black monster behind him, so he quickly climbed to the top of the tree. In the next moment, the shadow that rushed out of nowhere broke the tree. Terrible. The ferret also jumped towards where Nanoha was, as expected of a sable. But Naiha is mine. Tianyu, who was hiding beside Nai, showed his figure, appeared from the side, and reached out to catch the ferret. Little feather. They didn't expect Tianyu to run over behind him. Your big night? What's that? At this time, Tianyu pretended not to know anything. With a surprised expression on his face, he looked at the dark shadow under the tree in the distance. Roar! Suddenly, something very strange appeared on the sides of the monster's body, and it looked like something like tentacles. With a flying pounce, it rushed towards Nani and Tianyu. What the hell? Tianyu threw the ferret aside at once, leaping towards Naiha. Naoba, who was not standing still, sat down on the ground. What the hell is going on here? Nanoha also saw that there seemed to be a huge black monster under the broken tree. I just didn't expect it to actually attack itself. What the hell is this? Tianyu carried the coloring sable Yuno's neck and walked towards Nanoha. Are you really here? Salaya Yuno's gaze ignored Tianyu, who was holding the back of his neck, and turned his gaze to Nanoha, who was wearing a light yellow turtleneck, long sleeves, and an orange skirt. Speak! Seeing the ferret uttering words, Nanoha suddenly became flustered. Can ferrets still talk? Tianyu also pretended to be inconceivable. But what is this? What the hell happened? Nei looked at the monster in front of him and asked quickly. What else happened, Run? Tianyu took 2 steps back, pretending to be panicked. He shouted at Nanoha next to him. Roar! The low roar sounded again from not far away. Immediately afterwards, 2 purple eyes the size of headlights looked at Tianyu and Nanoha. Your support. Chapter 12, go. It's up to you. Looking at those purple eyes the size of a car lamp. Even Tianyu, who was already mentally prepared, couldn't help but tremble in his heart. Run! Tianyu decisively stretched out his right hand and pulled Nei towards the outside. In his left hand, he was holding the back of the neck of Yuno the sable. Wait a minute. Xiao Yu, it's not convenient for you to run like this. Nei bent down and ran after Tianyu. It's really inconvenient. All right. Tianyu simply let go of the right hand that was pulling Nanoha. What happened? Why are you here, Xiao Yu? Naya asked suspiciously while running. I don't know why. I saw you suddenly ran out of the house at night, so I came to see after you. Tianyu casually made an excuse for himself. You have potential, please give me a helping hand. Seychelles Yuno's eyes were still on Nanoha. Completely ignored Tianyu on the side. What potential? Tianyu looked at Yuno with a confused look. Yeah, I came from a different world in order to find one thing, but it's difficult to complete the mission by myself. So, although I understand that this book has nothing to do with you, I have to ask for help from those who have potential. I will repay you. Yuno broke free from Tianyu's hands. He quickly ran to Nanoha and pleaded with Nanoha. With my current magic power, I can't stop it. But you can do it. Yuno looked at Nanoha and pleaded. Magic. Naiha was stunned for a moment. He had no idea what the magic power Yuno was talking about was. What are you kidding? How to deal with that guy? Tianyu said with a frown. No kidding. Yuno said quickly. Then he said to Nanoha seriously, "Please use my power. My power. The power of magic." Magic? Tianyu and Nei were still confused. Of course Tianyu pretended it. "I know." Tianyu nodded and grabbed Yuno. Roar! The group of unknown black monsters chased up and fell from the air to the ground. In an instant, the smoke fell violently to the ground because of the black monster. The surroundings became dusty. Even the ground was smashed into a big hole by that black monster. Tianyu also hurriedly pulled Nanoha to hide behind the telephone pole. Looking at the black group of eyes in the sky turned bad. Ready to go straight to kill that guy. "Please, I will definitely repay you." Yuno broke free from Nanoha's hand again. Perseverance ran to Nani and pleaded. "Now is the time to talk about compensation." Nei stuck his head out and looked at the group of black monsters in the pit behind him. "Xiao Yu, what should I do?" At this time, Nai was already a little panicked and didn't know what to do. In desperation, he could only ask Tianyu on the side. "I'll lure that guy away. You take the opportunity to escape." Tianyu decided that if it couldn't be done, he would just give up Nanoha and then directly try to destroy the black monster. "Please use my power. My power. Magic power." At this time, Yuno begged Nanoha again. "Use your power?" "I see." Tianyu nodded heavily. "But what should I do?" Naya said he didn't know what to do at all. "I know." Tianyu said that he already understood. Naya was stunned for a moment. "Leave the rest to me and this ferret," Tianyu vowed. At the same time, an interesting idea appeared in Tianyu's mind. Hear Tianyu say to himself and him. Yuno said that he was also a little confused. "I hope this girl can use the power of magic to fight back. What are you doing as an ordinary person?" And now his magic power is running out. There is absolutely no way to do it. Suddenly, a strange thought came to Yuno's mind. Is the little boy in front of him stronger than he imagined? But the next moment, Yuno was stunned. In front of him was a child who looked about 4 or 5 years old. Just like that, he walked out holding the back of his neck. "Hey, your opponent is me. Sacred Beast Country, Yue County, Wowo Township, Lonely Clan Demon. Bah. I'm on stage." Tianyu suddenly realized that he seemed to be wrong. "Roar!" The monster in front of him roared impatiently. "Come on then." Tianyu took a deep breath. "Go. Ferret, it's up to you." I saw that Tianyu threw the ferret in his hand towards the monster in front of him without any hesitation. There was silence in the audience for a while. The ferret beat it back with 100,000 volts. Tianyu waved his hand, old-fashioned giving orders. 100,000 volt is a ghost. Yuno hurriedly ran back to Nanoha after shouting loudly. "Your support." Chapter 13. Heart of the Rising Sun. Yuno was speechless to Tianyu. "If you still have the ability to fight, how about finding someone to use magic everywhere?" "Ha, it was just a joke just now to liven up the atmosphere." Tianyu scratched his cheeks and smiled awkwardly. "Then what should we do now?" Naya asked worriedly. It's okay. I have other plans." Tianyu raised his right hand and gave a thumbs up, revealing a set of shining white teeth. "What other plans do you have?" At this time, Yuno said that he still believes in him again. "We're going to set a trap," Tianyu said righteously. "Trap?" Naiha and Yuno were a little puzzled. The other party rushed to the front. "How to set traps?" "Simple." Tianyu stretched out his right hand and picked up the ferret Yuno again. Then he stretched out his thumb with his left hand for a comparison. At this time, Yuno suddenly felt an ominous feeling. First level preparation for the cannon on Earth. Tianyu has already determined the exact location. "Hey, you won't be." At this time, Yuno was already sweating profusely. Second level preparation of the cannon on Earth. Tianyu shouted. "No!" Yuno hurriedly shouted. Naya next to him didn't know what to say. Human cannon fire. Tianyu threw it hard. He threw Yuno in his hand at the black monster. "Why is it like this again?" Yuno drew a nice arc in the air. With a bang sound, I saw Yuno hit the black monster accurately. "Nice!" Saw Yuno bump into the black monster. Tianyu couldn't help but be happy. "You are so happy." Yuno snarled at Tianyu after rubbing his little head. "Run!" Tianyu turned around again, pulled Nei, and ran away. Wait. See you then. What about that ferret?" Nei asked quickly. Let's go. Don't let down the kindness of that ferret, Tianyu said righteously. Ah, kindly. Nate couldn't turn his head for a while. That's right. Look at that ferret brother who sacrificed himself for us and rushed to fight that monster. For what? To give us time to escape. Tianyu ran with Nanoha and explained righteously. Roar! The roar of the monster came from behind. At the same time, a familiar voice came from behind. Wait for me. As expected, Yuno has 4 small claws. Run that fast. He soon caught up with Tianyu and Nei. Comrade Ferret, you are all right. Tianyu pretended to be surprised. Of course I'm fine, Yuno said angrily to Tianyu. Wow, this monster didn't eat you like this. You must have made a deal. Tianyu looks like I have seen through. No, Yuno yelled. Then Yuno closed his eyes and calmed down. A pair of emerald-like eyes looked at Nanoha. Please use my power. I will definitely repay you. Yuno looked at Nanoha and pleaded. I'm just using your power. Tianyu said there was nothing wrong with his approach. Yuno said that he didn't want to deal with this wicked guy. Use this. Yuno held the red pillar hanging around his neck with his mouth and handed the bead to Nanoha as he ran. Heart of pesticide? Ah, no. Heart of the rising sun. Tianyu recognized the thing at a glance and said silently in his heart. The red bead is the intelligent magic tool used by Nanoha. It has 2 forms, spherical and staff, and has the functions of assisting Nanoha in attack, defense, seal, search, and communication. It's so warm. Naya stopped. He stretched out his hand to take the heart of the rising sun and said softly, Hold it, close your eyes, and keep your mind at peace. Focus your attention. After seeing Nanoha taking the heart of the rising sun, Yuno quickly taught from the side. Naya also knew that there was no other way now. So he tightly held the heart of the rising sun in his hand and closed his eyes gently. Yuno's voice came from his ear. Administrator authority. New user setting function, fully open. Immediately afterwards, a pink magic circle appeared at the feet of Nanoha and Yuno. It seems that I can only hold this guy first. Tianyu, who saw this scene, he turned his gaze back to the black monster. At this time, Tianyu looked coldly at the black monster in front of him. A green orb appeared on the back of his right hand. Your support. Chapter 14. Heart of the Rising Sun. Activate. I've been fooling around with you for so long. It's time to be a little more serious. Tianyu's gaze turned cold as he looked at the black monster in front of him. Roar! The monster roared at Tianyu again. I saw Tianyu's eyes widen. 2 fiery orange rays shot out from Tianyu's eyes. These 2 rays are not ordinary rays. That's a laser beam ray with high-voltage hot melt energy current. It easily penetrated the body of the black monster. This is the electric eye from the power of the pig spell. The pig charm can make the eyes of the bearer emit laser beams of high-voltage hot melt energy current, and the distance can be said to be infinite. It doesn't look like it's that easy for you to solve. So what if? This time Tianyu released 2 orange-yellow spotlights again. But this time it was a little different. This time the laser is full of extremely powerful destructive power. Falling on the black monster, it directly blew out 2 holes in the monster's body. Roar! At the same time, the monster also made a miserable roar. This time Tianyu didn't just use the power of the pig charm. Incorporate the explosive power of the dragon talisman into it. The power of the dragon talisman is pyrotechnic energy, which can unleash a scorching, fiery, molten flame attack. The destructive power of the explosion is enormous. The blasting power of the dragon charm plus the laser power of the pig charm formed a powerful laser cannon. The current Tianyu can be said to be a powerful human-shaped fort. On the other side, Naiha heard a shrill voice. I can't help but want to open my eyes to find out. Don't open it. Concentrate, Yuno said quickly. But Yuno was also very surprised to see this scene. The guy in front of him is simply a mobile laser cannon, to be able to launch such a powerful attack. Repeat my words, Yuno said in a deep voice. But Xiao Yu, Nanoha was a little worried about what happened to Koba. I'm fine. Tianyu's childish voice rang in Nai's ears. Yuno, who was teaching Nanoha, saw Tianyu like a moving turret. The corners of his mouth twitched uncontrollably. Really wanted to rush up and ask, "Are you really human? Then, let's start." Naya nodded resolutely and said to responded. Nanoha put the heart of the rising sun in her hands and clasped her hands tightly, while trying to keep her mind at peace. After seeing Naya's appearance, also closed his small eyes. "I am the successor of the mission," said. "I am the heir to the mission." At this time, the heart of the rising sun in his hand also continuously exudes a pink light. "Under the name of the contract, liberate your power," said. That in the name of the contract, liberate your power. At this time, the heart of the rising sun exudes a more powerful force. The magic circle at the feet of Nanoha and also released a more dazzling light. At this time, the monster bullied by Tianyu also turned his attention to Nanoha. "Not yet." Tianyu's eyes turned to Nai. Then he turned his gaze back to the monster in front of him. On the back of his right hand, a round orb in imperial green radiated even more dazzling light. It seems that it is embedded on the back of Tianyu's hand. Quickly rushed towards the monster. At the same time, the power of the bull charm erupted. Just one punch. The black monster was knocked out. The cow charm is a charm that represents power. It can greatly increase Tianyu's physical strength, and it can also enhance the strength of the whole body. Originally, Tianyu's physical fitness was far beyond that of ordinary people. Plus the Super Saiyan bloodline, the power of the cow spell, and the power released by the right-hand orb. With just one punch, the monster was knocked out. This was the result of Tianyu's mercy. Otherwise, this punch can directly blow up the monster. Nanoha on the other side has also reached a critical moment. The wind is in the sky, and the stars are in the night sky. It's still Yuno's sentence, Nanoha, and read a sentence. In the next moment, something seemed to appear in Naya's mind. Unyielding courage. Yuno opened his eyes. Unyielding courage. Nanoha saw that she was in a pink space. At the same time, a more powerful force was released from the heart of the rising sun. "In my heart, grant magic to my hands." The two spoke in unison. "Heart of the rising sun, activate." Nanoha raised the heart of the rising sun in her hands. Suddenly, the heart of the rising sun radiated a dazzling pink light. A huge force erupted from Nanoha's body. Stand by ready, set up your support. Chapter 15. The God Extinguisher is activated, killing it with one punch. Heart of the rising sun, activate. Nanoha raised the heart of the rising sun in her hands. Suddenly, the heart of the rising sun also emitted a pink light. Stand by ready. Set up, accompanied by the crisp female voice of the heart of the rising sun. Tianyu knew that Nanoha had successfully activated the heart of the rising sun. A pink light shot straight into the sky, illuminating the streets of the entire enchantment. Since all this happened inside the enchantment, there was no way to see what was happening outside the enchantment. What? Naiba himself was completely dumbfounded. Don't know what exactly happened. Okay, powerful magic. Yuno was also attracted by the pink magic that ran through the sky. Could not help but admire. At the same time, Nanoha and the heart of the rising sun slowly flew into the air. Welcome, new user. Hello, new user. The heart of the rising sun twinkled. Said hello to Naiha. Although heart of the rising sun speaks English, Nanoha finds that she can understand what heart of the rising sun is saying. Hello. Nay also hurriedly asked the question mark towards the heart of the rising sun. Your magic level Kukulafestaceme. Your magic aptitude has been confirmed. The heart of the rising sun said. Tianyu, who was watching the play below, couldn't help but sigh with emotion. With Naiba's current grades in English in the 3rd grade of elementary school, he can actually understand what the heart of pesticides is saying. Compared with my previous 3rd grade, it is like a sky and an underground. What? Hurry up and calmly imagine the shape of the magic wand that controls magic, and the shape of the protective suit that protects you. Yuno quickly raised his head and shouted at Nanoha. What? I can't think of it for a second. Naiba said that he couldn't think of any protective clothing or the like at all. That. Nanoha closed her eyes and started thinking about the shape of her wand and her protective suit. But time is too rushed. For a while, I can't think of what a protective suit looks like. May I select the optimum configuration 4 barrier jacketanth device. Can I automatically select the optimal configuration for the magic terminal and protective suit? The Heart of the Rising Sun saw that Nani couldn't think of it, so he asked aloud. That's fine, please. Nanoha couldn't think of the shape of her magic wand or the shape of her protective suit at the moment. Simply let the Heart of the Rising Sun help you choose. All right, okay. The Heart of the Rising Sun responded. Stand by ready, the Heart of the Rising Sun begins to activate. At this time, the black monster that was kicked out by Tianyu's punch ran back again, and at the same time quickly rushed towards Nanoha in the air, as if she wanted to interrupt Nanoha's transformation with the Heart of the Rising Sun. Give you a face. Xiaofeng patronized and watched Nai transform, completely ignored the strange black monster next to him. Immediately, the power of the rabbit charm and the chicken charm was activated, and the speed instantly increased sharply. Tianyu, whose speed exploded completely, was blocked in front of Nei in an instant. Boosted gear. Red Dragon Emperor's cage hand. Divine dividing. White Dragon Emperor's light wings. Without any hesitation, 2 elite-level god-killing tools are activated at the same time. At this time, Tianyu's right hand appeared a crimson-red gauntlet that looked exactly like a dragon's claw in shape. At the same time, there are 2 jewels emitting emerald green light inlaid on the back and top of the hand. The golden spikes extending from the sides make this gauntlet look majestic. It looks like a crimson dragon claw. This is one of the god-killing tools. The cage hand of the Red Dragon Emperor on the back of Tianyu. There was also a light wing with a white body and light blue wings. The shape looked like the wings of a Western dragon. The light blue wings look beautiful. The white skeleton and the light blue wings have an indescribable beauty. This is one of the god-killing tools, the light wings of the White Dragon Emperor. Dev-eyed, boost without any hesitation. Tianyu decisively used the power of the 2 god-killing tools. Using the power of 2 god-killing tools at the same time is not as simple as a simple 1+1. And also use the power of the bull charm at the same time. Just one punch. The body of the black monster was easily blown up. Your support. Chapter 16. Celebrate. Magical girl Nanoha appears this superposition method is not as simple as one might imagine. First, he used the White Dragon Emperor's light wings to have the opponent's power once, and blessed him with the have power. At the same time, activate the power of the bull charm in the body. Immediately afterwards, the effect of the cage hand of the Red Dragon Emperor was able to multiply the power. Together with the power of the White Dragon Emperor's light wing, which was halved just now, it has also been increased, and the power of that tyrannical bull talisman. So Tianyu punched down the strange black creature in front of him easily. As for whether it will cause the body to be unable to withstand the increase in energy and strength, Scion physique is no joke, coupled with the tyrannical physique of the Scion, and the power contained in the 12 spells. Just using this multi-layered boost once didn't have much impact on Tianyu. But this kind of superimposed increase. With Tianyu's current situation, it can only be used 5 times at most. More than 5 times will cause the body to be overwhelmed, but not without a solution. If you fight this way for a long time, then it is necessary to use the light wings of the White Dragon Emperor to expel the excess power from the body. The power that was expelled would dissipate without a trace. Yuno, who was staying below, saw that he was sweating all over. Good, it's amazing. Yuno also looked at Tianyu in the air with a look of surprise. Just one punch. It can directly kill the black monster in seconds. And it's a little kid who is only about 4 or 5 years old. Barrier jacket say suit start. Suddenly, the voice of the Heart of the Rising Sun came from behind Tianyu. But that's not what Tianyu cares about. Tianyu, who killed the black monster in seconds, returned to the ground, looking at the black mud that was scattered in front of him. His expression also became a little dignified. What are you really afraid of? What are you doing here? Tianyu said in a deep voice. When the punch just came out, Tianyu noticed something was wrong. There is always a very strange feeling, which makes Tianyu feel that something is not right. It's just like some people have bad thoughts about themselves or something. Success! Yuno shouted excitedly while looking at Nanoha in the air. Little feather. At this time, Nai slowly landed, and when he opened his eyes and saw the appearance of Tianyu in front of him, he couldn't help but be surprised. I think you should pay attention to yourself at this time. Why does your protective suit look similar to your normal school uniform? At this time, Tianyu turned his head and looked at Nai Yi. When he saw the protective suit on Naiba's body, he couldn't help but complained. Ah, no way. Naiha also hurriedly lowered her head to look at the protective suit on her body. At this time, Xiao Feng silently took out his flip phone from his pocket. Turning on the camera and facing Nanoha is a mess. Every child in the Takamachi family has their own mobile phone. Even Tianyu, who is only 4 years old, has one. But because Tianyu often stayed by Momoko and Shiro's side, so I rarely use my phone. Usually, it's just a phone call to my brothers and sisters, or go to practice or something like that. Momoko, Shiro, and the others will call themselves when they can't find it. But now it's in the enchantment. The phone has no signal at all. It's a good choice for a camera. What is this? Nai hurriedly looked at himself. Your magic tool and protective suit. It looks similar to your school uniform. Tianyu touched his chin and said, "Don't shoot." Nai saw that Tianyu was holding the phone in his left hand and slapped him randomly. His face became a little hot, and he hurriedly stopped. "Stop shooting." Tianyu also put the phone back. "You're also very powerful. You actually killed that guy with one punch." Yuno ran over, waving his short legs. Looking up at Tianyu said, "It's not over yet." Tianyu shrugged and said, "Speaking of this wing behind you, and what is in your hand?" At this time, Naiha also noticed the wings on Tianyu's back and the guards on his arms. I have time to explain to you." Tianyu turned his gaze to the black monster behind him. Then he turned his attention to Naiha. All of a sudden, Tianyu has a blast. Cough, cough. He coughed a little and cleared his throat. She took 2 steps silently behind her and stood behind Naiha. Emotions became high. With a loud shout, "Celebrate!" Naiha and Yuno were both dumbfounded. Congratulations! The White Devil, one of the 3 giants of the future time and space administration, stands on the ground, and she is finally born here. She is the magical girl Takamachi Nanoha. Tianyu learned the congratulatory lines of Uniqua and pretended to celebrate next to Nanoha. Your support. Chapter 17. Panic Nanoha. Congratulations. The White Devil, one of the 3 giants of the future time and space administration, stands above the earth, and now she is finally born here. Tianyu, who was beside him, learned Unique's congratulatory lines and pretended to celebrate next to Nanoha. What a white devil. It sounds awful. Naiba said aside with a puffed mouth. Tianyu just laughed. But at this time, Jiao Yunua's gaze towards Tianyu became a little strange. The current Nanoha has just become a horse monkey shochu. I don't know what the so-called time and space administration is, but this doesn't mean that Sable Yuno doesn't know. Know that Yuno is from Mid-Serta. No one present knew what the time and space administration was better than Yuno. That is a huge interdimensional organization, mainly engaged in the investigation, recovery, and management of dimensional interference-type prohibited items. It also involves responsibilities such as combating smuggling crimes, public security and firefighting, anti-terrorism, and humanitarian rescue. It can be said that it is a very large judicial institution, and the location of the ground headquarters of the Time and Space Administration is Mid-Serta. But why does the child in front of him also know about the Time and Space Administration? And there are 2 strange magic tools on the body. Could it be that he came from Mid-Serta or another dimension like himself? Various questions flooded Yuno's mind. Roar! With a burst of roars sounded, the body of the black monster also recovered, and its face became extremely hideous. Originally purple eyes have also become a pair of blood-red eyes. He stared at Nani and Tianyu in front of him. Seeing this, Nanoha was also a little flustered. You are really troublesome. But Tianyu turned his head to look at the black monster, and his expression became gloomy. That strange feeling filled Tianyu's heart again. This guy is definitely trickier than he thought. Suddenly, there was a ripple in the space. Immediately after, countless sharp black shots shot out of the space. Naya couldn't help but took a few steps back and slammed into the wall behind him. No, Xiao Yu is still there. Nanoha saw Tianyu standing in front of him looking at the monster. He quickly ran over and hugged Tianyu. Xiao Yu, don't be afraid. Big sister is here. Nai hugged Tianyu and tried his best to comfort him. What? Tianyu was confused by Nanoha's actions. Calm down, okay? Tianyu can see it. The current Nanoha has been frightened because of the monster in front of him. Picked up Naya, step back. Dodged the monster's attack. No way. Tianyu put his hand on Nanoha's head. At the same time, I intend to release the power of the horse charm to heal Nanoha, so that Nanoha can recover. Suddenly Tianyu remembered something important. Although the horse talisman can cure all diseases, it only eliminates the abnormal influence caused by external forces in the body and restores the normal body constitution. Like any viral injury and miscellaneous diseases, they will all be expelled from the body. If it is damaged, it can be restored. But Nanoha now has a psychological problem. There is simply no way to recover with the power of the horse charm. Sister Nanoha, calm down, calm down. It's okay, it's okay. Tianyu hurriedly whispered in Nani's ear. At this time, Nai, who heard Tianyu calling his sister, recovered. Looking at Nao Yi, who was a little silly in front of him, it made Tianyu's thoughts return to a long time ago. At that time, his father, Shiro Takamachi, was seriously injured in a special mission, comatose in the hospital. At present, in order to support the family, Takamachi Momoko supports the entire Tsu Cafe by herself. Back then, the Tsu Cafe was not as good as it is now, due to the recently opened relationship. So business is very bad. At that time, the elder sister, Takamachi Miyuki, and the older brother, Takamachi Kyouya, took turns taking care of his father, Takamachi Shiro, in the hospital. At the same time, in my spare time, I go to the Tsu Cafe to help. I often get home late from work. Takamachi Nanoha, who is still young, chooses to stay at home to take care of Takamachi Tianyu, who is still an infant. It can be said that Tianyu and Nai lived together at home for a while. Those days were really bad. Therefore, so in the Takamachi family, Tianyu's favorite is his sister, Takamachi Tianyu. At that time, Tianyu swore that he would protect Nai well. Never let that future tragedy happen. Always protect Naiha. Listen to me. You already have magic. He's not enough to be afraid of. Tianyu said to Nanoha. Magic. After hearing Tianyu mention magic, Nanoha was a little confused. Isn't that something that only exists in fairy tales? Chapter 18. Stunned Sable. Listen to me. You already have magic. He's not enough to be afraid of. Tianyu said to Nanoha. Magic. After hearing Tianyu mention magic, Nanoha was a little confused. Isn't that something that only exists in fairy tales? Yes. Look at your hand. Tianyu motioned for Nanoha to look at his hands. What is this? Nanoha looked at the wand in her hand with some doubts. Is coming. Suddenly shouted. I saw that group of black monsters leaping high, all curled up in a ball in the air, like a black cannonball. He crashed towards where Nai Yi and Tianyu were. Later, Tianyu said in a deep voice. Unexpectedly, Nanoha hurriedly jumped back. This jump is incredible. Naya jumped back slightly and flew into the air. And Tianyu also jumped lightly, dodged the monster's attack. Nanoha in midair was surprised again. How much do I know about magic? How much do you know about magic? At this time, the heart of the rising sun, who had turned into a magic wand in Nanoha's hand, asked. Not at all, Naya said quickly. Then I shall teach you everything. Please do as I say. I will teach you everything. Please follow my instructions. The heart of the rising sun then said. Good, good. Naya looked down and nodded vigorously. Roar! The monster roared suddenly. The body split into a mass of whitish monsters. The whiter monster charged towards Nanoha in midair. That group of black mud rushed towards Tianyu. FK? Are you still split? Tianyu didn't expect this monster to be able to split. Flyer fin, flying wings. The heart of the rising sun in Nanoha's hand in midair used magic on her own. A pair of small wings made of pink magic appeared twice on the small shoes on Nanoha's feet, with Nanoha constantly dodging the attack of the white monster. Ah! While dodging the attack, Naiba couldn't help but exclaimed. Then he took Nanoha down to the top of a building. Tianyu on the other side was constantly dodging the attack of the black monster. Dealing with this kind of undead guy is really troublesome. The vast majority of Tianyu's attacks now are physical attacks. It happened to be restricted by this group of black monsters. Physical skills don't have much effect on this guy at all. Even if it is broken, it can also constantly overlap its own body. Court Death. Tianyu activates the power of the pig spell and the power of the dragon spell again. The two orange laser cannons accurately hit the black monster. Roar! The black monster let out a deafening roar again. There were two more holes in the body again, but soon the body began to heal continuously. At the same time, Tianyu also discovered something. That is, the size of this black monster seems to be smaller than before. You will shrink in size when you are attacked. Then I will beat you, and you will not be able to continue shrinking. Tianyu intends to solve it in the most violent way possible. Although the power of the pig charm plus the power of the dragon charm is extremely powerful destructive power, can cause laser cannon-like damage. But there is also a huge problem. That is scope. That's right, is the scope. The power of the pig charm is a laser beam that emits high-voltage, hot-melt energy currents from the eyes, and the pyrotechnic energy of the dragon charm can cause unparalleled destructive power. However, it was limited by the ability of the pig charm. Attach the dragon charm's pyrotechnic energy to the pig charm's laser. Let the laser have a huge power, but the laser beam that the pig charm can shoot is only that big. Even adding the dragon charm to increase the destructive power is not much use, because this guy is like black mud, can keep recovering, no matter how Tianyu increased the power of the pig charm laser. But the scope is not enough. As it is now, the dragon charm gives the pig charm laser powerful, destructive power. Two big holes were opened in that black monster. Then I'll give you a big gift. Tianyu took a deep breath. A mouth. The next moment, a powerful explosive flame spewed out of his mouth. No pig charm was used this time, so there is no range limit. Therefore, the burst of explosive flames ejected is much larger than the previous laser. If the previous laser was only as thick as chopsticks, this time it is the size of a fist. Bang! With a loud explosion. Before the black monster could dodge it, it was blown up by the powerful detonating flames, and there was no slag left. You have to force me to make a trick. Phew! Tianyu exhaled a puff of smoke and said disdainfully as he looked at the disappearing black monster. As for Yuno next to him, he was completely stunned. Your support. Chapter 19. Solutions other than the seal Nanoha kept flying in the air to avoid the attack of the white monster. What is that? Is it a living thing? Looking at the monster chasing after him, Nanoha couldn't help but ask the heart of the rising sun. No, I tis no tabing. That's not a creature. The heart of the rising sun answered immediately. Then what is it? Nai asked suspiciously. Itisonant Phi from Luz Logia, that is the heteromorphic body of the ancient heritage. The heart of the rising sun replied. At this time, the monster rushed towards Nanoha again. See the monster rushing over. Nai was a little flustered. Raise the wand in your hand. Tianyu, who was below, hurriedly shouted. Eh! Nai, who didn't know why, chose to do as Tianyu said. Protocyan, the heart of the rising sun, autonomously uses the defense function. Bang! With a loud bang. When the monster was about to hit Nanoha, it was blocked by an invisible barrier emitting a pink radiance, and it suddenly became torn apart and flew around. Your magical powers are impressive. You have a very powerful magic, the heart of the rising sun praised. One of them hit a power pole on the ground. The collapsed telephone pole smashed towards Tianyu. Danger! Yuno hurriedly shouted. Zenuelia's sword-drawing technique. No sword, Nadiko. I saw that Tianyu slowly raised his right hand, and the powerful force concentrated in a little burst. Formed a strong impact. Abruptly shattered the pole. Open. Just kidding. Yuno looked at Tianyu in astonishment. It's so easy to break a telephone pole. When dealing with that black monster before, it can be said that it used magic power. But this time, it was all about the explosiveness of the body. Is this something a human can do? Then Yuno raised his head and looked at Nanoha in the air. It's amazing. It's far beyond imagination. With your magic, it should be able to stop him. Yuno did not expect these two siblings to be so strong. The magic power of the elder sister Nanoha is already amazing enough. The younger brother Tianyu can release lasers and powerful destructive energy, and now he is performing a stone crushing with his bare hands. Are people in this world so scary? Tianyu looked at the pile of mud on the ground. The power of activating the dragon charm can be solved directly with one breath. At this time, Tianyu also touched his chin and began to think. That is, this monster is completely an ooze-like creature. From a certain point of view, it belongs to the kind of existence that is undead. Even if he is knocked out by his own punch, he can recover. The one on his side is directly destroyed by the powerful blasting ability of the dragon charm. However, after the destruction, no holy stone seed appeared. The biggest possibility is that the one I played was just a clone. What Nanoha faces is the body. There is only one way to collect the seed of the holy stone, that is to seal them all. If you don't use the magic of sealing, then it is very likely that you can only rely on violent means to solve it. If it doesn't work, it will directly destroy the seed of the holy stone because its power is too strong. When the task is not completed, it will be troublesome. So the best way is to choose the seed of sealing holy stone. But Tianyu, who sealed something, said that he was completely knowledgeable from 10 orifices no one, unless you use the magic in the Book of Night Sky to seal it. Otherwise, you can only rely on Nanoha or Fit to seal it. Fet belongs to the hostile camp. Therefore, it can only be sealed by Nanoha. Thinking of this, Tianyu made up his mind. Hurry up and seal it with the power of the heart of the rising sun. Yuno shouted at Nanoha, "Seal? But what to do?" Naya said he didn't know what to do at all. "Listen to me. Magic is a spell stored in the magic tool, and its activation requires the power of the magician's spirit." Tianyu raised his head and loudly explained the nature of magic to Nanoha. The sage Xiao Yu next to him became even more surprised after hearing Tianyu's explanation. Why does this little boy know so much about magic? But what the hell is this? Nanoha asked while dodging. That is the mind-body derived from the power of the taboo. It must be sealed with a magic wand before it can be restored to its original form. Yuno quickly explained. I don't quite understand. What should I do? Nai asked quickly. Tozil, either get closer and invoke sealing magic or use some more powerful magic. You can use sealing magic after getting close, or choose to use more powerful magic. The heart of the rising sun reminded at the side. At this time, it was Tianyu's turn to be stunned. Is there any other way to solve it? Your support. Thanks to the 100 VIP points rewarded by the Silver Moon Boss, Chapter 20. Nanoha and Tianyu's plan, but what am I going to do? Nanoha asked the heart of the rising sun. Imaginary bus strike, drawing a powerful blow in the heart. Explains the heart of the rising sun. I don't understand at all. Nanoha became a little anxious after hearing heart of the rising sun's explanation. Tianyu, who was on the ground, also touched his chin and began to communicate with his system. Is there another way to seal the holy stone seed? Tianyu asked about his system. How? The system replied coldly. Then tell me what else is there to do. Tianyu also wondered what the solution was. If the power of the dragon charm is used, a huge explosion will occur. Although I don't know how hard the seed of the holy stone is. But an explosive force went down. Even the seed of the holy stone may not be able to withstand it. You underestimated the hardness of the holy stone seed with your current attack, unless it is multiplied to the limit. Otherwise, the holy stone seed cannot be broken, the system replied. Does that mean I'm done with a direct violent attack? Tianyu's eyes became excited. You can perform brute force attacks, but it will cause a dimensional shock, the system replied. Dimensional shock? Tianyu is a little confused as to why it would cause a dimensional shock. Dragon Talisman belongs to the power of blasting, and it can spray hot and scorching flaming flames to attack, and the destructive power generated by the explosion is huge. Although the seed of the holy stone cannot be broken, attacking the seed of the holy stone is bound to cause a dimensional shock. The system's explanation made Tianyu even more confused. Why does the blasting power of the dragon talisman cause a space shock when it hits the holy stone seed? Is his attack different from the others? Simply put, your attack is a physical attack. Only an energy attack will not trigger it. So you understand, the system replied coldly. Oh, you said it earlier. Go around the corner and say a lot of things that you don't understand. Tianyu pouted in disdain. Simply put, it can only be triggered with energy attacks. Using other attacks will cause a space shock. Xiao Yu, be careful. Suddenly Tianyu, who was communicating with the system, heard Nanoha's voice. I saw the white monster rushing towards Tianyu. Nanoha also hurried over, raised the wand in his hand to defend in front of Tianyu. What the hell? You actually came over to attack me, a 5-year-old kid? Young people don't talk about martial arts. Rat tail juice. Tianyu, who was behind Nanoha, shouted angrily. Hold out your strong stand. Hold out your dominant hand. The heart of the rising sun said quickly. Okay. Nei stretched out his left hand with difficulty. Shoot the bullet. Shoot the bullet. A pink magic bullet was condensed in Nanoha's hand. Immediately, the magic bullet in Nanoha's hand blew the monster away. I saw the body of the monster in the air split and turned into 3 identical monsters. After taking a look at Naiba, she wanted to run away. Ah! Escaped! Yuno froze for a moment, and then said, without any hesitation, Nanoha used flying magic to catch up. Yuno also hurriedly chased after him, waving his 4 little claws. Magic bullet! Only Tianyu was left looking at his hands, wondering what he was thinking. He raised his head and looked at Nanoha, who was far away. Behind him, the wings of the white dragon emperor spread out instantly. At the same time, the power of the chicken charm and the rabbit charm erupted at the same time. Immediately followed up, Naiha, who was chasing the 3 monsters, looked at their speed and said with a serious expression, what a fast speed. You can't let them escape to somewhere. Suddenly, Nanoha thought of the magic bullet just now, so he said to the heart of the rising sun in his hand, can the radiant thing just now be launched farther? If that's what you desire, it's all up to you. The heart of the rising sun says it's up to you. Yo, I'm here to help you. At this time, Tianyu also rushed over. Little feather. Naiha was surprised. You land first, Tianyu said. Oh. Naiha nodded dumbly and landed on a roof. Looking at Naiha's cute look, it made Tianyu have the urge to take out his phone to take pictures again, but still held back. As for why Nanoha would listen to Tianyu's landing, that's because Naiba thinks Tianyu should have a way. Although I don't quite believe what the strange ferret said in front of me. But since it was said by his younger brother Tianyu, then trust him unconditionally. What's more, Naiha also has a plan in his heart. Your support. Thank you for the 100 VIP points rewarded by the Unknown Boss Chapter 21. 3 Holy Stone Seeds. Listen to me. Basic magic like the defense and attack just now can be activated easily as long as you just recite it in your heart. Tianyu began to explain the nature of magic to Nanoha. Nanoha's gaze drifted to the 3 monsters that had fled. That they're about to run away. Naiha said weakly. Fine. The corners of Tianyu's mouth rose slightly. However, it would be very dangerous if they were allowed to run into someone's place. Naiba said anxiously. Don't worry. That's what I'm going to say next. Tianyu also began to become serious. Naiha didn't respond. Gather the energy of the magic bullet you just released. Feel the power hidden in your body, and guide that power into your arms, Tianyu said to Nanoha seriously. I see. Nanoha nodded and clenched the magic wand in both hands. At the same time, a pink prototype magic circle appeared under his feet. Mod change cannon mode. Mode change. Shelling mode. The appearance of the heart of the rising sun also began to change. It was originally shaped like a magic wand. Suddenly, it turned into a spear-like shape. On both sides stretched out pink energy wings. Just in time to try this, Tianyu looked at this Scarlet Dragon Emperor's caged hand on his right hand and clenched his fist slightly. Boost. Multiplier. Boost to gear gift. Scarlet Dragon Emperor's gift. Without any hesitation, Tianyu activates Scarlet Dragon Emperor's cage hand to multiply his power. At the same time, the multiplied power was integrated into Nanoha's body. Nanoha felt a little surprised by the powerful power in her body. Don't be distracted. Take them out in one shot, Tianyu said in a deep voice. Yuno, who was chasing below, saw the heart of the rising sun in Nanoha's hand and stopped. Could that be a seal cannon? He turned out to be a cannonball. Yuno's face was full of shock. Shoot and buster mode. Fired in the form of a direct gun. A powerful magic force formed an air current around Nanoha. Immediate to fire when target is locked. Fired at the instant the target is locked. The heart of the rising sun began to lock on the target. Boom! 3 energy beams with a diameter of about 5 meters rushed towards the 3 monsters. What? The powerful recoil made Nanoha unable to stop falling backwards. Tianyu, with quick hands and quick eyes, immediately flew behind Nanoha and supported Nanoha, who was falling backwards. TSK. TSK. This power looks pretty good. Tianyu did not expect that the gift of the Red Dragon Emperor would be integrated into it, and the resulting power would be so great. Originally, I wanted to try the effect with the mentality of playing, but I didn't expect it to be so powerful. Nice shot. You did a great job. The heart of the rising sun praised. Seal them with just one blow? Yuno's face was full of disbelief. 3 holy stone seeds appeared in the air at the same time. Huh? 3? Shouldn't there be only 1? It was a little strange for Tianyu to see the 3 holy stone seeds floating in the air. What is this? Looking at the 3 blue crystals in front of him, Nanoha asked strangely. They are seeds of holy stones. Touch them with the heart of the rising sun. Yuno, who arrived at this time, explained to Nanoha. Well, where did you climb up from? Tianyu looked at Yuno at his feet with a confused expression. This is the top of the building, and because it is already night, the normal way up has been blocked. This ferret can still run up. Of course it flew up. Yuno glanced at Tianyu and said solemnly. Right. Tianyu opened his hands to the 3 seeds of holy stones. I saw 3 seeds of holy stones flying into Tianyu's hands. Look at the blue crystal in his hand. Tianyu always felt that something was not quite right, because the strange feeling in my heart has not dissipated. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining 3 Holy Stone Seeds sequence. 18, 20, 21. Reward. 300 exchange points. Current collection progress. 3/21. The system's voice also sounded in Tianyu's mind. Is this the completion of the mission? Tianyu muttered to himself. Touch it with the heart of the rising sun in your hand. Tianyu took the holy stone seed in front of Nanoha and said. Nei nodded and walked to Tianyu's side. The wand in his outstretched hand aimed at the holy stone seed in Tianyu's hand, and the seed of the holy stone slowly flew into the heart of the rising sun. Your support. Thanks to the 100 VIP points from the Mini Boss, Chapter 22, The Spell of Magic. Racino point 18, XX, XXI, receipt number 18, 20, 21. Accompanied by the voice of the heart of the rising sun. The 3 holy stone seeds were also successfully stored by Nanoha. It won't be a problem if you give it to Naiba. Tianyu opened the system panel and saw that the task completed on the taskbar was still 3/21 and nodded thoughtfully. But what makes Tianyu feel strange is that the feeling in my heart is still there. Obviously, the 3 holy stone seeds have been sealed. Wait, there's one more. Suddenly Yuno exclaimed. At this time, Tianyu raised his head and saw a pool of black mud. The strange feeling that had always been in my heart became stronger and stronger. Is there another one? Naiba said in surprise when she saw the black mud-like thing. So Naiba is ready to seal again. Do not move. Suddenly Tianyu shouted loudly. Nei looked at Tianyu with some doubts. That guy, it doesn't seem to be the sacred stone seed. At this time, Tianyu replied. Not the sacred stone seed. Yuno was also a little puzzled. There's a creepy malice. Tianyu could feel that this group of black things was very unusual. Compared with the few monsters just now, it's not a level of existence at all. Suddenly, the monster stretched out several pitch-black tentacles from its body. Nai hurriedly stood in front of Tianyu and raised his wand. Protection. Nanoha drives the sun's heart to use the defense to defuse the attack of the black monster. I saw that the black mud in the air began to twist continuously. Then it turned into a dark figure. I couldn't see what he looked like at all. It was just a black figure. Suddenly, the black figure took out 2 strangely shaped weapons. What a strange shape. I seem to have seen it somewhere. Tianyu couldn't help frowning. Looking at the pair of strangely shaped weapons in the black figure's hand, there is always a feeling of déjà vu. But I can't remember for a while. The black figure smiled strangely, immediately rushed towards Tianyu, Nai, and others. Leave the attack to me. The seal will be handed over to you. Tianyu said to Nanoha behind him. Yeah, Nai nodded seriously. Although I don't know what you are, but you make me very uncomfortable. Tianyu kicked his feet. Like an arrow from a string, it rushed towards the black figure. Boost! Stimulate the power of the bull charm in the body. At the same time, use Cage Hand of the Red Dragon Emperor to multiply. The right fist swung towards the black figure. Bang. That black figure is not a good thing. Crossed the weapons in both hands to resist Tianyu's punch. Rolled backwards in the air a few times. It stopped abruptly in the air. Yeah. The black figure smiled at Tianyu again. Have you nothing but this sentence? Devitt, boost. Xiao sword drawing technique. No sword, Nadiko. In an instant, Tianyu moved behind the black figure. The palms are close to his back, concentrating the power at one point. It burst out, forming a powerful impact with extremely powerful power. The black figure smashed to the ground heavily under Tianyu's attack. It turned into a puddle of black mud and wriggled again. I want to see if you are immortal. The domain of the Red Dragon Emperor. The domain of the White Dragon Emperor. Open. This time, Tianyu activated the power of 2 god-extinguishing tools in a row. 2 forces locked on the body of the black mud. The size of the black mud that fell on the ground began to shrink. At the same time, the ultimate flame that can burn everything to the ground also burns. Since physical attacks are useless to you, then I will burn you to the ground. Tianyu gently clenched the Cage Hand of the Red Dragon Emperor in his right hand. Roar! The White Dragon Emperor's realm is already full of poisonous gas. The black mud was constantly eroded by the poisonous gas that filled Lingyu because of Nanoha's presence. So the Lingyu created by Tianyu is not very big. It's just the black mud that just covers the ground. The size of the black mud has also begun to be reduced a little bit. This poisonous gas from the White Dragon Emperor can wipe out all existences except inorganic matter. As long as it is biological, its blood, bones, organs, and soul can all be cut bit by bit. Nano! It's now! Yuno hurriedly shouted at Nanoha. Ah! That! Nanoha closed her eyes and began to clear her mind. An incantation quickly emerged in my heart. The spell of magic is Lilikarum Magikaru. Nai hurriedly recited the spell in his heart. Chapter 23. The weird space vortex, hearing Yuno shouting to the side to let Nanoha seal it quickly. Tianyu, who was watching from the air, wanted to catch Yuno and beat him up. Everyone said that thing is not the sacred stone seed. Still there, shouting for Nanoha to seal it. Although Tianyu himself is not sure what this thing is, but one thing is certain. This thing is definitely not a sacred stone seed. Rather, this thing is a puddle of black mud. From its body can feel a wave of malice. Seed of holy stone seal. Nanoha on the other side also started to shout. Sealing mode, setup. Pink wings of light appeared on both sides of the heart of the rising sun. At the same time, countless pink ribbons appeared from the red bead in the middle. How can it be? But what happened next? But Yuno was surprised. I thought I could seal the seed of the holy stone so easily. But the unexpected happened. Anything close to the pink energy ribbon around the black mud, it began to be eroded by the poisonous gas around it, and it was continuously reduced at a speed visible to the naked eye. At the same time, the flame also burned along the pink ribbon of energy, continued to burn in the direction of Nanoha. This thing is indistinguishable between me and the enemy. I will definitely teach this Sable a lesson if I have a chance. Tianyu stretched out his left hand and snapped his fingers to undo the field. The poisonous gas and flames also disappeared in an instant. Even Yuno never thought that the poisonous gas and flames would be so terrifying. It can even erode and burn energy. The continuously extending pink ribbon successfully wrapped around the black monster in front of him. Stand by ready. The heart of the rising sun resounded again. But the black mud just kept struggling. Lilika Ru Maji Kalas seal. Nanoha raised the wand in her hand and shouted. Sealing. The heart of the rising sun also began to seal. With Nanoha's amazing magic, if it is to seal the sacred stone seed, then there is definitely no problem. But that pool of black mud is not the sacred stone seed. Roar! The monster roared up to the sky. The pink ribbon wrapped around his body was also freed by the monster. The sky was getting darker and darker. Originally, there were still stars and bright moon shining on the earth and the sky. But now it's getting darker and darker. Dark clouds covered the entire sky, giving people an inexplicable gloomy and depressing feeling. A few bolts of lightning pierced the sky. The space in the sky began to distort continuously. Soon, a strange space vortex was formed. What is that? Tianyu raised his head and looked at that weird space vortex in the sky. I don't know what happened for a while. Roar! The black mud jumped and flew towards the space vortex. Wait a moment. Tianyu wanted to catch up to solve the black mud. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck Tianyu. FK! Tianyu couldn't help but curse. Quickly backed away from the lightning attack. Xiao Yu, you are fine. Naya hurriedly ran over and asked. I'm fine. Tianyu shook his head, watching the black mud disappear into the vortex of space. The strange feeling in my heart disappeared. What the hell is that? Yuno ran over and looked solemnly at the mud in the air. You're too embarrassed to ask. I said it wasn't sacred stone seed. Why are you running here to join in the fun? Tianyu said angrily. I am sorry. Nei quickly said to Tianyu with guilt. Because just now I heard Yuno's words and made the move. It's not your fault. Tianyu became a little confused when he heard Nanoha's apology. I just wanted to scold Yuno the ferret. In the end, Naiha apologized to herself. All of a sudden, Tianyu was in a hurry and didn't know what to do. So Tianyu hurriedly put away the divine destruction tool and started to coax Nanoha. Under Tianyu's unremitting efforts, Naiha finally laughed again. Tianyu glared at Yuno, who was beside him. If it wasn't for Naiba, Tianyu will definitely use the dragon charm and the pig charm to turn this ermine into ashes. See Tianyu's vicious gaze. Yuno couldn't help shivering. In the battle just now, Tianyu's combat power, which could be called a bug, impressed Yuno deeply. At this time, the magic wand and protective clothing on Nanoha also disappeared automatically. It turned into a red bead and landed in Nanoha's hand. Huh? Is this the end? Nai asked dumbly. What? Haven't played yet or what? Tianyu asked with a smile. Yes. Thank you that it's over. Yuno nodded. Your support. Chapter 23. This is a god destroyer, not a magic tool. The voice just fell. Sable Yuno fell to the ground weakly. Wait, you're fine. Hey, don't worry. Hello. Naya hurriedly asked Yuno. I don't know if he has anything to do with him. I just know that we will be in big trouble if we don't leave. Tianyu looked at the messy street behind him and couldn't help but complain. Because of Yuno's coma, the surrounding enchantment was also broken. At this time, a siren sounded from afar. Staying here is really going to be a lot of trouble. Anyway, sorry. Nanoha turned her head to look at the street that was devastated by the battle. I'm also a little embarrassed. After all, there was so much damage, and there were sirens blaring in the distance. Get out of here quickly. Tianyu picked up Yuno on the ground and fled the scene with Naya. The two came to a park. After finding a bench and sitting down, he breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, Yuno also woke up, raised his head and said to Nai Yi and Tianyu, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Huh? You're awake. Tianyu glanced at Yuno in his hand and said, I'm sorry. Did I wake you up? The wound doesn't hurt anymore. Naya looked at Yuno and asked, The wound is fine. It has basically healed. Yuno nodded and replied to Nanoha, You're still pretending to be dizzy after you've recovered? Tianyu said angrily. Can you put me down first? Yuno looked at Tianyu with some embarrassment. Because now Tianyu is holding the back of his neck, Yuno feels very uncomfortable. In addition to Tianyu's terrifying strength, Yuno was a little scared of Tianyu. Oh! Tianyu responded and then placed Yuno in the empty space of the stool. Yuno also shook his body and shook off the bandage wrapped around him. Really? The wounds are almost gone. It's amazing. Naiha hugged Yuno, looked at it carefully, and said in surprise, Thanks to you, I can use all my magic power for healing. Yuno said to Tianyu and Nanoha, although I don't quite understand. So that's what it is. By the way, can I introduce myself? Nanoha asked suddenly. Yuno nodded. In fact, Yuno was also curious about who Tianyu was. Not only does he have two peculiarly shaped magic tools, but he also knows about the time and space administration. The most terrifying thing is his strength, able to smash telephone poles with physical strength alone. It can even fire laser cannons. No matter how you think about it, it doesn't seem like a human ability. My name is Takamachi Nanoha, and I am currently in the 3rd grade of elementary school. My family and friends call me Nanoha, and this is my younger brother, Tianyu Takamachi. Naya tilted her head and thought for a while, then said, "By the way, I also introduced Tianyu next to me. Yo, my name is Takamachi Tianyu. I am 5 years old this year." Tianyu just greeted me indifferently. My name is Yuno Skrya. Skrya is the tribe's name, and Yuno is my name. Yuno also introduced himself. Yuno-kun? What a cute name. Nanoha nodded. I'm sorry. I took you. Yuno lowered his head in guilt. Just call me Nai, Nai said with a smile. Tianyu. Tianyu also replied lightly, although Tianyu didn't like seeing this erotic Yuno very much. But the face of the elder sister, Nanoha, still has to be given. I also involved Nani and Tianyu. That? I'm probably fine. Nei was stunned for a moment. Then he smiled and said it was okay. It doesn't matter. Tianyu is also a light sentence. By the way, Tianyu, are you also a magus? Yuno suddenly remembered Tianyu's two strange magic tools, so he asked. No. Tianyu shook his head. Then that wing and arm guard of yours. Yuno asked cautiously. Yeah, what exactly is that of yours? Nai also asked curiously. God Exterminator. For Tianyu, this kind of thing is nothing to say. Anyway, I want to complete the task of collecting 21 Holy Stone seeds issued by the system without using the magic tool Book of Night Sky. And now Nanoha has completed the novice tutorial. Now you can use the power of Nanoha to help you collect it. Use this to hone Nanoha's combat experience. The most important is in this world, there is no such thing as a god destruction tool. So saying it doesn't matter. What's more, Nai asked himself, instead of hiding it like this, it is better to say it directly and generously. Chapter 24. The disadvantages of the God-killing tool, God-slayer tool? What is that? Naya asked curiously. Something I haven't heard of. Yuno is also puzzled. The highest level artifact in the artifact category is the God Destruction Tool, which is an artifact capable of destroying gods and demon kings. Tianyu thought about it and explained it roughly. Artifact? Great! Naiha exclaimed. In Nanoha's view, things like artifacts are very powerful, and God Slayer Tool is the highest level divine tool, so it should be even more powerful. Artifact? What is an artifact? Yuno, from Mid-Surda, said he didn't know what the so-called artifact was, because there is no such thing as an artifact in Mid-Surda. The so-called divine tool refers to the extraordinary power that resides in a specific human being. It is said that many well-known figures in history are holders of the divine tool, and it is through the power of the divine tool that they can be remembered in history. Tianyu thought about it and explained. It sounds very powerful. It must be the power of this world. You don't look like that. These artifacts will only reside on specific humans, and each artifact has this extremely special ability. The artifacts will constantly change and evolve based on the owner's thoughts as food. Tianyu looked at the back of his right hand and said, Do you use thoughts as food? It sounds like a magic tool in this world. Yuno felt that the so-called divine tool was similar to the magic tool. It's not the same. Divine artifacts can be captured by people in a special way, and if the artifact is extracted, the original holder will die. Tianyu said lightly. But this is of no use to Tianyu. Has the power of 12 spells. Even if the artifact is pulled away, it will not cause death. Besides, his two God-extinguishing tools have become part of his body. Even if you want to take it, you can't take it. Naiha and Yuno were both surprised. Artifact, if it is taken away, it will die. This thing is much more dangerous than a magic tool. At least if the magic tool is damaged or taken away, there is no danger to the user. But artifact, this kind of thing, once taken away, will die. There are more disadvantages than magic tools. Well, God Destroyer Tool can exert the power to destroy gods and demon kings. Just this is not a magic tool that can be compared. Tianyu said with a smile. That's right, and it looks like your abilities are all fixed. Yuno nodded and said, "It happened." Suddenly, Tianyu's complexion changed dramatically, patronized and chatted with Nai Yi and others. Forgot one very important thing. "What's wrong?" Nei asked curiously. "If you don't go home, it will be finished. The whole family knows that you sneaked out. I came out to find you home," Tianyu said quickly. "What?" At this time, Naiha also knew that something was wrong. "By the way, Yuno-kun is still injured. There's no way to rest here. Anyway, let's go to our house first. We'll talk about other things later." Nanoha made an invitation to Yuno. "Take it back. At least you can have multiple excuses." Tianyu said something and picked up Yuno Nai, and Tianyu also hurriedly walked towards the house. At the same time, Tianyu also took out his phone and wrote a text message and sent it to Miyuki. "Been out for so long, going back must inevitably be reprimanded. So I can only seek help from my sister, Miyuki." Tianyu told Miyuki that he found Nanoha and that Nanoha went to the hospital, and hoped that Miyuki could help Nanoha out of the siege. But Tianyu also concealed things like magic. Stop talking about such supernatural things. As for the issue of Nanoha sneaking out, if you want to solve this kind of problem, you just need to find Miyuki for cover. Miyuki loves her younger brother and younger sister very much, especially the conditions proposed by Tianyu. Miyuki will never refuse. As for why you're looking for Miyuki and not someone else, looking for Momoko and Shiro will definitely be scolded. The same goes for my brother Gong. He will definitely reprimand Nanoha well. After much deliberation, for Tianyu, the best candidate was Miyuki. And Miyuki is also very fond of Tianyu. Miyuki, who was looking for Tianyu and Naiba with Gong also, suddenly rang the phone in her pocket. "Hey, it's Xiao Yu's text message." Miyuki took out her phone and looked at it. Then he couldn't help laughing. "Huh? Miyuki, what are you laughing at?" Gong also asked curiously. "Nothing." Miyuki smiled and sent Tianyu a message back. "Let's go home first. Xiao Yu has found Nanoha and is heading home." After sending the text message, Miyuki raised her head and said to Kyouya, "Your support." Chapter 25. The charm of Sable Yuno waiting for Nai and Tianyu to return to the house. Nai creepily opened the door and walked into the yard. When he was about to open the door and go and you two are back, suddenly, Kyouya's voice came from not far away. "Yo!" Tianyu smiled and said hello, and by the way hid Yuno behind him. Brother." Nanoha turned her head mechanically and saw Kyouya with a serious look next to her. "Where did you go so late?" Gong also asked coldly. Nanoha hesitated and didn't know how to answer. However, Tianyu hurriedly gestured towards the back, because Tianyu felt that Miyuki was behind him. Miyuki saw Tianyu keep gesturing to herself. After smiling, he stepped forward. "Ah, so cute." Miyuki, who was wearing a black sweater and glasses, came over from behind. By the way, Miyuki always wears glasses. It is only taken off during combat. Sister. Naiha quickly turned her head. "Ah, this ferret doesn't seem to have any energy." Naiba sneaked out at night because she was worried about it. Miyuki looked at Yuno and said with a smile, "Ah, that." Nai didn't know what to say. "I can understand how you feel, but at least you have to say hello." Kyouya's expression softened as he reprimanded Nanoha. Forget it. It doesn't matter. He has come back safely anyway, and Naiba is a good boy, so he won't do this again in the future." Miyuki hurriedly smoothed things out on the side. Seeing this, Tianyu secretly gave Miyuki a thumbs up. "Well, that brother." Nanoha's gaze turned to Kyouya again. "I'm sorry. I went out without saying hello, and everyone was worried." Nai also said with some guilt. Gong also responded. "Okay, that's settled," Miyuki said happily. "But, Xiao Yu." Gong Ye's kind gaze turned to Tianyu again. "Yes." Looking at Gong Ye's kind eyes, Tianyu shivered with fright and immediately stood up straight. Seeing Gong Ye's kind gaze, Tianyu knew that he was about to die. So she quickly gave a wink to Miyuki next to her, hoping that Miyuki could help herself. However, Miyuki went straight to Tianyu's side. Holding up Yuno high, he said, "What a cute little animal. When my mother saw it, wouldn't she faint in love?" Obviously, he ignored Tianyu's wink and wanted to teach Tianyu a profound lesson. It is indeed possible. At this time, Shiro also opened the door and walked out. Although I know you're worried about Nai, you are only a 4-year-old child after all. What if you run out alone at night and meet a bad guy? Gong also squatted down and touched Tianyu's little head and said, "Yes, I know, not next time." Tianyu lowered his head and looked like he knew he was wrong. Okay. Everyone come first." Shiro smiled and hurriedly smoothed things out. "Xiao Yu, where did you and Nani go?" Miyuki gently leaned down and asked in a low voice beside Tianyu. "Just went." Tianyu was interrupted by Miyuki before she could finish speaking. "You shouldn't just go and see that ferret." Miyuki and Kyouya also went to a nearby animal hospital for inspection. Tianyu and Nanoha were not seen. "I'm going to see that ferret. As for the rest, that's my and Nanoha's secret." Tianyu answered in a low voice and walked in. Peach, who was sitting in the living room waiting for the two children to come back. When I saw the ferret in Nanoha's hand, he quickly picked up Yuno and said excitedly, "Wow, so cute. It's so cute." Peaches sitting on the sofa have absolutely no immunity to cute things, especially when seeing such cute ferrets as Yuno. Even more happy. "Mom, enough is enough." Nanoha quickly discouraged. "Well, this weasel looks very smart." Anyway, Shiro remembered what Kyouya said before. Ferrets belong to the class of weasels. "It's a ferret, Dad," Miyuki explained. As for Gong, he could only look helpless with his hands on his hips. "Will there be something to perform? Come on, reach out." After Shiro looked at Yuno thoughtfully, he stretched out his hand and said to Yuno. And Yuno, after learning to smell ferrets, he looked up at Shiro. He decisively stretched out his small paw and placed it on Shiro's hand. Really smart. Momoko and Shiro felt it. That's it. The family started talking about Yuno the ferret, such as what food to feed him and other messy things. Your support. Thanks to the 100 VIP points from the Mini Boss, Chapter 26. Dragons in verse scale for only 300 exchange points. Tianyu, who was sitting beside him, chose to open the system store to see if there was anything suitable for him to buy. The system store has a wide variety of products. Let Tianyu be dazzled and dazzled, tossed and turned, and found nothing useful, because the price is too expensive. At present, Tianyu only has 300 exchange points in his hands. Can't afford anything. Things that are too low in price are not worth buying by Tianyu now. Looked over and over again. You can't afford to buy a single useful thing, and you can afford to buy something that is currently useless. For a while, Tianyu didn't know what to choose. System, is there anything I can use right now? Tianyu asked the system in his heart curiously. Ding! It is recommended that the host go to the special discount mall to check it out. The system responded immediately. Special sale mall? Tianyu became a little puzzled. Some items that were originally priced high but were sold at special prices because they were not popular, the system explained. Sounds like a good look. Tianyu nodded thoughtfully. The next moment, the things in the mall in front of Tianyu changed. These are some discounted items within the system. I don't know if these things have been carefully screened by the system. The price of the things that come out is not more than 300 exchange points. In the end, Tianyu's eyes were locked on a small rectangular pendant. It's an all-black one, a pendant with a red imprint in the middle. The appearance looks very simple. This thing, Tianyu was stunned the first time he saw this pendant. This is something Tianyu is so familiar with and cannot be familiar with anymore. In a previous life, I specially made a similar pendant to play. After clicking on the product information, Tianyu was even more excited. Maybe a lot of people don't know what this is. But Tianyu is very familiar because this thing is from a national comic. And the popularity of this national comic does not seem to be high. Many people don't know much about this national comic. In the past life, many grandma masters will selectively forget this animation when they inventory their childhood animations. With the passage of time, the popularity of this anime is getting lower and lower. Without any exaggeration, it can be said that out of 10 people, at least 9 people have never heard of this anime. Item: Dragon's Reverse Scale, modified from Time and Space Boy Grade. S Grade Introduction. This is a Dragon's Inverse Scale with extremely powerful power, which can enable the holder to make bioenergy jumps across time and space at will in the current world. Cannot move beyond the current world size. can according to the owner's will. It can be transformed into various weapons that the owner needs. Note, because the popularity of this item is too low, and the host is buying it for the first time, this item is sold at a low price as a benefit, with only 300 exchange points. This kind of SSS level thing actually only sells for 300 exchange points. I chose to buy it without any hesitation. This kind of thing only sells for 300, and it is a bloody profit. See the note at the bottom, and all the clutter in the sale mall. Tianyu also understands why the price of this thing is so low. The main reason should be the low popularity. The items in Special Market are all items in some very unpopular works, like something out of some popular drama. The price is very high. E.G. One of the 3 most famous pupil techniques in Naruto, sharing eye. The price in the mall is a bit expensive. Single hook jade riding wheel eye, 500 exchange points. Double hook jade riding wheel eye, 1,000 exchange points. 3 hook jade riding wheel eye, 1,500 exchange points. From this price, it seems that it is basically a sales method of Goyu 500 exchange points. As for the higher level, a kaleidoscope riding wheel alone costs 3,000 exchange points. It is almost doubled on the basis of the 3-go jade riding wheel eye, the more popular anime. The price of the props inside seems to be more expensive, and the props in Special Offer Mall. It's all from some very unpopular anime. It was like the Dragon Scales Tianyu had spent 300 heavy sums buying this time. This thing comes from a domestic animation Time and Space Boy. This anime tells the sci-fi adventure story of 3 children traveling through time and space. The story takes place in a world 1,000 years ago. In that era, scientists invented a special technology called space-time jump. It allows people to travel in different time and space. Not only can we travel between the future and the past world, it can even travel to every corner of the universe. The most surprising thing is, this technology enables people to travel into other dimensions. For the current Tianyu, totally a rare baby. Your support. Chapter 27, Believe in Science. Tianyu took Yuno back to his room. He placed Yuno on the desk in front of him. After returning to the room and changing into pajamas, Naiha also came to Tianyu's room. She wanted to ask Yuno what that so-called Holy Stone Seed was. What the hell are the monsters and the Holy Stone Seed just now? Naoba sat on the chair in front of the desk and asked Yuno. It's hard to believe, but I'm from a different world than here. Yuno replied, after being silent for a while. Another world? Nanoha became a little puzzled. Yeah, what you used just now was magic. That's the technology from my world. Yuno explained the magic first. Your magic feels a bit like an extension of technology, Tianyu said somewhat uncertainly. As early as in his previous life, when he watched Magic Girl Nanoha, Tianyu noticed the so-called magic tool. It seems to be made entirely by technological means. So when Nai released the magic just now, Tianyu observed the situation. It can be said that the heart of the rising sun is a completely intelligent magic tool. From some angles, something like a smartphone or something. The magic used also appears to be cast through commands imprinted in the system. Yuno nodded. Unexpectedly, Tianyu saw it at a glance. Then what happened to the monster just now? Nai asked suspiciously. The enemy just now is a dangerous ancient heritage, sacred stone seed, Yuno said in a deep voice. The seed of the holy stone? Nanoha was a little curious about what the holy stone seed was. They will easily go berserk if they have a chance. Just like just now. It can be said to be an extremely dangerous energy crystal. Yuno explained. How could it be? Why does such a dangerous thing appear around here? Nanoha asked suspiciously. It's all because of me. Yuno lowered his head in remorse. I guess. You must have dug this thing out and then accidentally fell into this world, so it brought a crisis to the world. Tianyu said solemnly beside him. How do you know? Yuno looked at Tianyu next to him in astonishment. That's what it says in the book. Tianyu spread out his hands, showing an innocent look. I was engaged in the excavation of ruins in my hometown and found them from ancient ruins. I originally wanted to ask the administration to keep them, but the dimensional ship I arranged seemed to have an accident on the way, and 21 seeds of holy stones were scattered. In this world, Yuno sighed and talked about the cause and effect. Wait a minute. Do all the people in your world look like ferrets? Tianyu's eyes became sly. Suddenly he asked Yuno. No. I became a ferret because of a magical mutation. Yuno was stunned for a moment and then explained. That means you were originally human? Tianyu asked again. Yuno nodded his little head. I don't know why Tianyu asked himself. Oh, is that a boy or a girl? Tianyu asked again. I'm a boy. Yuno didn't understand what Tianyu meant by asking himself. If that's the case, then you stay in this room tonight. Don't run into Na Ye's room. A girl's boudoir is something you, a boy, can mess around with. Tianyu said seriously. Oh. Yuno thought for a while and felt that what Tianyu said was correct. As for Naiba, there seems to be nothing wrong with what Tianyu said. Then how much have you collected now? Tianyu asked again. Including the 3 just now. Only 3 have been recovered so far. Yuno said embarrassedly after thinking about it. Waste, Tianyu pouted and said disdainfully. Yuno didn't know what to say. But what Tianyu said didn't have any problems. I actually have not successfully sealed a single one so far. And he got himself seriously injured. Although he is an enchantment-type magister, he is only good at defense and healing magic. However, in terms of overall strength, he has reached an A-level magister. The magician I belong to the enchantment type. Yuno weakly defended himself. I don't know magic yet. I can't solve one. Tianyu said to Yuno confidently. Yuno really wanted to scold Tianyu. Can I have a face? Have you ever seen ordinary people spit out fire? Have you ever seen ordinary people shoot lasers out of thin air? How can there be such a mess in this world? Believe in science. Tianyu said seriously. Your support. Chapter 28. Tianyu's guess, speaking of which, haven't you ever suspected that the malfunction of your dimensional ship was man-made? Tianyu touched his chin and started to think. What's wrong? Yuno asked suspiciously. It's just that I suspect that the dimensional ship you arranged has encountered a malfunction. It may not be an accident. It was deliberately done by someone secretly. Tianyu touched his chin and pretended to say. You mean, the dimensional ship arranged by Yuno-kun encountered a malfunction and someone did it on purpose? Naoba asked in surprise. Just think about it. How could it fail during delivery and all fell into this world? According to the usual routine in the book, there must be something wrong with this matter. Tianyu spread out his hands and said helplessly. In that case, the failure of the dimensional ship was not an accident. It was someone who wanted to get the seed of the Holy Stone, so they deliberately let the seed of the Holy Stone fall into this world. Yuno immediately understood what Tianyu meant. I want to ask, our world should not be under the management of the authority you mentioned. Tianyu asked Yuno again. Your world is called Number 97 to manage the outer world. The local name is Earth. It belongs to the 97th world outside the management of the Time and Space Administration. Unknown Yuno nodded and answered Tianyu's question. Now it's right. Tianyu clapped his hands to Yuno and said, Xiao Yu, what do you mean? Why can't I understand what you're saying? Nai said that he didn't understand what the two were saying at all. Suppose someone attacked the dimensional ship arranged by Yuno and deliberately let these things fall into this world. Having said that, Tianyu will not continue. Presumably with Yuno's IQ, he should know what Tianyu wants to say. Do you mean that there are other people in this world who are collecting the seeds of holy stones? And the other party is the culprit that caused the failure of the dimensional ship? Yuno said in surprise. This is just a guess on my part, but I feel that it's all too weird. Tianyu suddenly remembered that black figure not long ago. There is always a strange sense of familiarity. But I can't remember where I saw it. What made Tianyu more concerned was why that guy was with this sacred stone seed. It stands to reason that in the original book of Magic Girl, Nanoha, the seed of the Holy Stone, the central character of the incident should be the nearly 60-year-old aunt, Precia Testroza. The purpose is to find the lost Alhazard. In this way, he resurrected his own daughter, Alicia. Speaking of characters related to Precia, then there is only the one who is good at bioremediation and the development of artificial life forms, J. Sculietti. Also at the center of the JS event. That guy is a dimensional crime committed repeatedly and wanted by the Time and Space Administration as a first-level dimensional criminal. Could it be that the guy at night is something like Fighter-Man? After thinking about it, the only thing Tianyu could think of was the group of fighters. Because of the weapon in that guy's hand, Tianyu felt a sense of déjà vu. But it's completely different from Fighter-Man. Fighter-Man is a research that integrates the human body and the machine to obtain sublimated combat power. But the success rate is very low. In addition, there were also humanitarian issues and other reasons, and the research was finally forced to be suspended, and the research was also prohibited by the law of Mitsurda. The reason why Tianyu suspects that guy is Fighter-Man is very simple. That's the weapon in that guy's hand. The guy from last night was completely a kind of black mud into a human form. It makes Tianyu wonder if it is an IS that has not been developed as a test product. That is, an inherent skill. But after thinking about it, I felt it was impossible. Throughout the entire Magic Girl Nanoha series, in addition to the latest Magic Girl Nanoha Force, that is, Magic Girl Nanoha Force Magic Wars Nanoha Force, has entered a state of long-term suspension. Tianyu has watched other versions of Magic Girl Nanoha no less than 100 times. The bizarre weapon never appeared in the plot either. I always feel like I'm missing something important. Tianyu frowned and scratched his head irritably. Yuno looked at Tianyu strangely. I always feel that there are more troublesome things involved behind this. Tianyu sighed and said, This, Yuno didn't know what to say for a while. Forget it. Naiba, go back to rest early. Tianyu sighed and decided to find a way to help Nanoha reduce trouble. Oh, wow. Unexpectedly, Nanoha returned to her room in a daze. Do you know something? After Nei returned to his room, Yuno turned his gaze to Tianyu. I don't know. Don't ask me. Go to bed early. Tianyu yawned and got under the covers. Your support. Chapter 29. Cultivating Ki, a shortcut to improve strength? Early morning Tianyu did not choose to go to the dojo to compete with Kyouya and Miyuki. I also didn't choose to go out for a morning exercise. Instead, he chose to stay alone in his room. As for Yuno, he was thrown out of his room by Tianyu early to prevent Yuno from disturbing his cultivation. Tianyu, who was sitting cross-legged in the room, was about to try to cultivate Ki. Before that, try to practice Dance of the Sky. That's right. It's the Dance of the Sky in Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, the air dance was originally a secret technique of the crane fairy that can fly in the air. In the beginning, only people who belonged to the crane immortal style could use it. In the later stage, it has basically become a must-have trick for everyone. To put it simply, it is a method that allows people to move freely in the air without being restricted by gravity. For some people with higher combat power, dance in the sky, this kind of thing is completely self-taught. However, Tianyu, who has the blood of a Super Saiyan, doesn't know how to use it. Although you can also choose to exchange from the system's mall, but you need to spend 20 exchange points to exchange Dance of the Sky. Instead of wasting exchange points, exchange them in the mall. You might as well spend some time doing your own research. In fact, the so-called Dance of the Sky is not as difficult as one might imagine. Dance of the Sky is mainly determined by the control of Ki. If you want to fly fast, you have to look at your proficiency in Ki. Whether it's Dance of the Sky or Ki, you must first figure out how to activate the Ki in your body. At this time, Tianyu thought of a very troublesome thing. The means of their own attacks rely on the current several abilities to carry out. Even the driving spell is just a thought. It is easy to use the two god-killing tools with just one thought. However, although he has the blood of a Super Saiyan, but I don't know anything about how to use Ki. I remember, in Dragon Ball, Son Gohan taught Badiri how to draw out the Ki in his body. Tianyu suddenly remembered that in the Buu chapter of Dragon Ball Z, Son Gohan had taught by Dilly how to draw out the Ki in his body. In fact, the ways of using Ki and magic are basically very different. It is the most fundamental energy hidden in the living body. With practice or training, you can freely manipulate this energy. Whether it is righteousness, evil, courage, vitality, and other spiritual powers, it belongs to a kind of Ki. Ki can push the body beyond its limits. Moreover, this kind of sensible Ki can also be felt, like the group of Z warriors in Dragon Ball. It is possible to judge the approximate strength of the opponent without resorting to the strength of the combat effectiveness detector. In fact, it is judged by feeling the ki in other people's bodies. In addition, the protagonist Sun Wukong's teleportation also needs to determine the location and teleport by sensing the opponent's aura. Magic is also a similar energy. If you want to use magic, you have to use magic to activate it. In the atmosphere of many dimensional worlds, this resource called magic power is permeated. Magic power refers to the magic power that permeates the atmosphere. Magic refers to the root of the human body. Although both belong to magic power, but one is the magic power contained in the human body, and the other is the magic power that permeates the atmosphere. Of course, one thing has to be mentioned. That is, magic not everyone can use. In fact, within the body of a creature that can use magic, there is something called the psychic core. This thing called the psychic core can absorb the magic power permeated in the atmosphere and process it into magic power for use. Sentimental core. It can be regenerated even if it is damaged or lost. In Tianyu's body, there is a core of mind movement. However, Tianyu's mind of mind movement made Tianyu feel some headaches. Other people's psychic core absorbs magic power and converts it into magic power. And Tianyu's mind of mind movement is constantly devouring Tianyu's magic power, even constantly eroding Tianyu's body. If it were replaced by an ordinary human body, there would definitely be great problems. There will even be a risk of death because of this. But Tianyu was completely different. The magic within the body can be said to be endless. The power of the dog spell and the horse spell constantly provided life to Tianyu's body. The powerful magic power is not afraid of swallowing it all. Therefore, he didn't take the nanotic core in his body as one thing. Having said that, Tianyu felt that he should cultivate the power of ki. After all, he has the blood of a Super Saiyan. Cultivating ki should be the fastest way to improve your strength. Your support. Chapter 30. Misfortune, different power systems. It seems like this. Tianyu looked at his palm thoughtfully. I recalled the scene when Nanoha released the magic bullet last night. Then he casually aimed his palm at the bedroom door next to him. Bang! The next moment, an azure energy bullet gathered from Tianyu's palm. With a bang like an explosion, the bedroom door of Tianyu's room was unfortunately blown to pieces, accompanying Tianyu's bedroom door for nearly 4 years. He ended his mission gorgeously, watching the door rise like this. Even Tianyu himself was stunned. Have absolutely no idea what's going on. Obviously just wanted to try it. Haven't responded yet. He blew the door of his own room to pieces. As for the so-called ki in the body, Tianyu said that he did not feel it at all, just playfully imitated it. As a result, the energy bomb was actually fired. This was completely unexpected to Tianyu. Shiro, Kyouya, and Miyuki, who were eating breakfast downstairs, stopped their movements. The three rushed upstairs in a hurry. Want to see what actually happened? Is there a terrorist attack? When the three people came up, they were completely dumbfounded. The bedroom door of Tianyu's room had been blown to smithereens. At the same time, a large hole with a diameter of about 2 meters was blown up. Xiao Yu, you're fine. Are you injured? Miyuki hurried to Tianyu's side to check if Tianyu was hurt. What happened? Why was there such a loud explosion? Shiro looked a little wary after looking around. Gongyi squatted down and carefully observed the surrounding situation. This. Tianyu didn't know what to say for a while. It can't be said that I accidentally blew the door when I was practicing. In fact, even Tianyu himself couldn't understand what happened. It's just like the way Sun Wukong and others send Qigong bombs in Dragon Ball. Who knew it was actually released? And he accidentally blew the door of the room. Actually, Tianyu knows it. When he obtained the Super Saiyan bloodline, he could easily use the ki in his body. It's just that I have never used it, so I don't know how to use it. Just like in Dragon Ball, Wukong imitated Wu Tian teacher for the first time to use Turtle School Qigong. It can be used easily. He also broke a rock and broke a car. For example, if a novice uses ki, it is definitely necessary to take it slowly. Slowly pull the power out of your body. Tianyu, eager for success, although he subconsciously pulled the power out of his body. But the control aspect is not considered at all because of the subconscious. So this led to such a troublesome thing. Has the blood of a Super Saiyan. It doesn't mean that Tianyu is invincible from the beginning. It's just a lot higher than others in terms of starting point. In the Dragon Ball series, whether it is the Kelly of the 6th universe, or Broly of Universe 7, or Broly from the Dragon Ball Z theatrical version. For the time being, let's not talk about Kale's strength. The strength of the two Brolys alone has reached about 10,000 combat power since birth. With the increase of combat power, the strength will gradually become stronger. But does that mean they are invincible? Do not. Although very talented, but that doesn't mean it's invincible. Tianyu is the same, possessing the bloodline of a Super Saiyan, rather than the sturdy combat power. What's more, the world we live in now is more dangerous than we imagined, according to the Battle Index in Dragon Ball. So Tianyu's current strength is actually not that strong compared to Nai and Fight and others. It was clearly pointed out in Magic Girl Nanoha that Fei Te's average magic power is 1.43 million, and the maximum play value is more than 3 times this value. And don't look at the fact that Nanoha won the Heart of the Rising Sun not long ago, but her average magic power has also reached 1.27 million, and her maximum performance value has also reached more than 3 times this value. In other words, the combat power of these two people has reached a million level. With mood swings, it can also exert stronger combat power. In the Frieza arc in Dragon Ball Z, it was already comparable to Frieza's combat power when he transformed into his second form. That's when someone asked, neither is a system of the same world. Can this data be compared with each other? Tianyu asked the system about this issue last night. The answer given by the system is, no problem. Although it is not the same power system, the combat power is the same. Chapter 31. The seed of the Holy Stone is activated. The monster that speaks at this time, Gong, who was squatting on the ground, also found something very wrong. That's how the explosion seemed to come out of nowhere. There were no signs of burns or blackening in the room. Instead, it looked like an inexplicable explosion. The exact cause of the explosion could not be ascertained. Judging from the surrounding situation, Xiao Yu should not know what happened. Gonya said to Shiro. As a professional bodyguard, Shiro naturally also found something wrong, because the cause and trace of the explosion could not be found. This is the only way this thing can end. Tianyu can only choose to go downstairs to eat, and then go to the Tsu Cafe to help. In the afternoon at the Tsu Cafe, Tianyu slumped on the table in all kinds of boredom. Tianyu is like a mascot when he stays in the Tsu Cafe, and nothing to do. It's so boring. It's so boring. I don't know if there is anything interesting. If boredom can be used to sell money, I am absolutely confident that I can make a lot of money. Lying on the table in a sleepy state, Tianyu couldn't help yawning. Suddenly, Tianyu felt a strange magic spreading around. This is Tianyu was still bored lying on the table. All of a sudden, he sat up straight. Looking at the blue sky outside the window, his expression became excited. It seems that another Holy Stone seed has been activated, and it seems to be not far away. Tianyu closed his eyes. Carefully feel where the surrounding magic power appears. It seems to be a nearby shrine. Soon Tianyu decided the place. The next step is to think about how to get out. On the other side, Nanoha, who was returning home from school, was communicating with Yuno at home through the heart of the rising sun. I also felt this magic. Yuno-kun, this is? Nanoha asked Yuno in her heart with some uncertainty. Another Holy Stone seed is activated not far from the vicinity. Yuno said solemnly. What to do? Naya asked quickly. Contact Tianyu. Let's go get it together. Yuno worries about what will happen. So I want Nani to contact Tianyu. Yeah, I'm going to the cafe to find Xiao Yu. Naya nodded. After all, if Tianyu is there, maybe better. In a wood near the shrine, there are 3 cute stray kittens chasing and playing with each other. One of the black kittens accidentally rolled into the bushes. He looked at the Holy Stone seed exuding blue light in front of him. He tilted his head curiously. Jia. At the same time, a pool of black mud was looking at the black cat and the sacred stone seed that radiated blue light. There was a strange laugh. Next moment, the black mud jumped up, meow, accompanied by the screams of the black kitten. The black mud wrapped the black kitten and the sacred stone seed, that radiated blue light. Roar! Soon the black mud turned into a huge body. The whole body is mainly black, and there is a tiger with strange white patterns on its body. It has prominent white tusks on both sides. If Tianyu and Nanoha were here, must be able to recognize it. This is a black tiger with a white pattern. Its two fangs are exactly the same as the weapon in the hands of the shadow last night. Wow! The monster roared up to the sky. Then the monster's blood-red beast pupil looked at the two cats in the distance. Roar! The next moment, the monster rushed up. The kitten turns into a big tiger in seconds. It looks a bit interesting. But your fangs make me very uncomfortable. At this time, Tianyu also rushed over. Black shield with left hand abruptly blocked the tiger's attack. Roar! The black tiger angrily roared at Tianyu to shut up. Tianyu's right hand instantly appeared, Scarlet Dragon Emperor's cage hand, and punched the tiger with a punch. Bang! With just one punch, the tiger was blasted out. Wu, the flying tiger, shook his head after landing. Want to stay awake with this? Come on, kitty. I'll play with you. The shield in Tianyu's hand disappeared in an instant, and he flicked the Red Dragon Emperor's cage hand in his right hand and walked slowly towards the huge tiger. People, advise you don't worry about things. Suddenly the monster spit out human words. He said angrily to Tianyu, this time I will speak human words. Tianyu sneered. Roar! A pool of black mud appeared on the black tiger and quickly got into the woods. At the same time, the tiger also rushed towards Tianyu again. It's another part of separation? Do you only know this routine? In Tianyu's hand, a high-speed spinning energy bomb instantly gathered and greeted him. Your support. Chapter 32. Yuno's Ignorance. The automatic login of the heart of the rising sun. Let you taste my newly developed spiral pill. Tianyu stuffed the azure blue energy bullet that was spinning at a high speed into the tiger's mouth. This trick is Tianyu's idea based on the spiral pill in Naruto. Specially developed skills. In fact, to put it bluntly, it is a replica of the spiral pill. It's just a skill based entirely on ki. Anyone who has watched Naruto knows it. Spiral is a ninjutsu that took 4 generations of Hokage, Namikaze Minato, to get the inspiration from the tailed Beast Jade, and then it took 3 years to create it. Has the destructive power of a blow. Later, it was carried forward by the protagonist Naruto Uzumaki. A variety of different versions of spiral pills have been derived. In fact, this trick is not as complicated as imagined for Tianyu. Spiral pill is actually condensing chakra in the hand and makes the chakra flow continuously in different directions, and finally compresses it. Form a high-density spinning chakra ball, and that's it. It may be very difficult to put it in the Naruto world, but it's not worth mentioning in the world of Magical Girl Nanoha and Dragon Ball. Only need to gather ki or magic in your hand. It is enough to continuously flow ki or magic power in different directions and finally compress it into a high-density, rotating energy ball. Just understand the principle. Even Nanoha can learn it easily. By compressing the magic bullet and rotating it, it becomes the magic version Spiral Maru. On the other side, the fleeing black mud was hiding in the woods. One is wearing sportswear. A woman with a puppy passed by a nearby shrine. The pool of black mud pounced on the poor puppy again. What is this? The woman was so frightened that she sat on the ground. He looked at the black mud that wrapped the puppy in front of him with fear. Wow! Soon black mud will be based on the characteristics of the puppy. It turned into a black body, a giant wolf with 6 blood-red eyes on its head. At this time, Yuno and Naiha also rushed over. Is Tianyu not here yet? Yuno ran up the stairs while asking Nanoha. He's already here first, he must be in some trouble, Naiha explained while running. Nanoha, prepare the heart of the rising sun. Yuno looked at the black giant wolf at the top of the stairs and said to Nanoha behind him. Naiha nodded. Take off the heart of the rising sun, hanging around his neck. Ouch! The giant wolf roared up to the sky. It actually merged with the aboriginal creatures. Yuno stopped after climbing the stairs. Looking at the giant wolf in front of him, he said solemnly, What will happen then? Naiha's eyes turned to Yuno. Roar! The giant wolf looked at Nanoha and Yuno. When looking at Nanoha, A look of fear flashed in the blood-red eyes. Because of the entity, it will become more difficult to deal with. Yuno explained. Probably, it doesn't matter. Naya took a step forward. His eyes were fixed on the giant wolf in front of him. Nana! Suddenly Yuno shouted. Naya was a little unclear. Quickly activate. Heart of the Rising Sun. Yuno hurriedly said to Nanoha. How should I start it? Naya froze in place for a while. Indicates that he has forgotten how to activate Heart of the Rising Sun. Yuno also froze in place. Unexpectedly, Nanoha forgot how to activate the Heart of the Rising Sun. At this time, the giant wolf also rushed towards Nanoha. It's the activation password from the paragraph. I am the successor of the mission. Yuno shouted anxiously. Hey! Nei said he couldn't remember. You can remember it for so long. Nai quickly complained. Apparently Yuno completely overestimated.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.